Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. How are you? I hope you are all happy and healthy, doing the things that you love. It is the long-awaited fan show. The fan show is here. We got some people in the background waiting to come in. I have actually put the link into the chat. It's pinned at the top. So today's fan show is technically open to any of you bozos. Anyone who wants to come in and say things. The only rules are that you are you have to have your camera on. Obviously, be respectful, be nice, be normal. Any bad behavior, and you'll get booted and rooted from this channel immediately. It is an interesting day. We have apologies for the lateness, by the way. A few minutes late again. So I was trying to sort my camera out there. We have some interesting news, some pretty disappointing news, if I'm honest, and that is that Cody GAKPO is becoming a Cody Gak. No! As Manchester City are making a move, and from all that we are hearing in various WhatsApp groups and people that know a thing or two about a thing or two, he would rather go to Manchester City. What does that mean? That they have got rid of two of their players, and they brought in someone that we were looking for as well. It's just a shifting around of pecking order politics, isn't it, in football? You know, it is what it is. We'll find out what the guys think about that in a minute. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button for me on the video. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Notifications should be squeezed. Comments should be dropped. We are, of course, sponsored by OK Jersey. Code Sean10 at checkout gets you 10% off all of the latest and greatest in the clobber that you could possibly want to endow yourself with. Embalm yourself in this jam, this jazz. You know how it goes. And you can get 10% off using code Sean10 at checkout. Big up to them. SpursHub.co.uk is also up and running. We are just about to launch. I've been spent the last, literally 18 hours a day, the last few days, building the 26-27 season version of the Data Hub. Okay, so everyone else has got access to data, right? You've got Data MB. You've got the old school FB refs. You have everyone's little iterations that are out there. No one has what we have for live available to you with 26-27 data. It's going to be event level stuff. You can drill straight down into team-based and player-based performances, on-ball value, phases of play, incredible depth and insight. I'm just building it all out now so that it loads up in real time, and it's going to be ready to go in a couple of days. And that's all free at the moment. So get over to the SpursHub.co.uk. If you haven't already, you can also participate in the Predictions League, where you get to participate against 700, I think it is, other people that are participating in that. You might have missed the first week, but it's 38 games in the season, so there's a lot of time to catch up on that. And after tonight's final game, it's 8 o'clock is the final game of the weekend. Then I'll be publishing the result of the first week of predictions. Plus, you got last man standing. I'm sure a lot of people already have been kicked out of that for picking Manchester United. If you picked Arsenal, you were sensible and logical and you got through to the second round. Congratulations. But make sure you get over to the Spurs Hub, and we appreciate all of the support. Please do go over there and subscribe. Is the stream choppy? I hope not. Guys, let's find out how everyone is thinking. Rain, I can see in the background. No, Rain, I'd love you to come back in, mate. Yeah, you're fifth in the list. So the order at the moment is, I think it's, we got Steve, then we got Hotspurs, then we got Chop, then we got Rain. And there's other people coming in the background now. I can see them. Big up to everyone. Let's bring in the first guest of the evening, the long-awaited fan show. There's 375 members of this channel. And every time we do a fan show, none of you turn up. And I appreciate the fact that you're supporting the channel. I really do. But basically, the main value of being a channel member is the fan shows. So I don't really get it. We'll find out, though. Here's one of the usual crew, always in early. We love to see him. Big up to Steve. How you doing, mate? Good to see you, bro. You okay?
I'm good, dude. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Yeah. What's going on? You okay? How's your weekend been?
Weekend was horrible.
Yeah.
Not just for Spurs, so...
Oh, for other reasons?
Yeah, I had to help my neighbour put his dog down.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. That's
Was not a good weekend. And then I had to watch Tottenham.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what was sadder.
Well, let's focus on the Tottenham stuff. I'm sorry for your neighbour, mate. That's always a sad time, isn't it?
It's horrible, mate. Absolutely horrible. But it happens, sadly.
Yeah, we've all on a clock, mate. Let's talk about Tottenham Hotspur, mate. First and foremost, the Cody Gakpo news. Before we get into the game, breaking news is that Cody Gakpo, Manchester City are putting a bid to Liverpool. First and foremost, do you think Liverpool would be more likely to accept a bid from either of them? Rumours that we're hearing that Liverpool don't have any interest in selling. So you could spin this in one of two ways. You could spin it as a bit of a kick up the backside for Tottenham to go and find a plan B, or you could see it as an inevitable punch in the gut regarding Tottenham's inability to get things over the line when you need them to. City are going in there. I'm not sure if Liverpool would rather sell to Tottenham or to City. I'm not sure they want to sell to either. What's your thoughts on the whole transfer?
I think first and foremost, I'd like Gakpo to come. He would be a good signing. But as you always say, there's the pecking order. If City come calling and it's a comparable package, etc., then yeah, fine, go there. I won't cry about it. I don't think it's just it's what happens in football. It would be nice to get him, but I believe he lives in Manchester, doesn't have to move, do any of that stuff. The one thing I would say from his side, though, is if the theory of leaving Liverpool was so you'd get minutes and start and not have to worry about battling with Barcola or whoever they buy, then I'm not sure going to City sit behind Doku and Semenyo is a tremendous idea. But
yeah, or Haaland if you see him
if he's going to play him up front, but to be a rotation option, is being a rotation option for City better than being a starter for Spurs if everything else is level? And that's a question he has to answer, basically.
Yeah, and I don't know what the answer is, but what would you, if it was you, what would you rather do if you weren't a Tottenham fan?
Oh, his stage of his career, he's won the league, hasn't he? Was he there when they won the Champions League? I don't think he would have been.
No, he wouldn't have been, no.
So it just depends what he wants. If he wants a stable life and environment, you stay where you already are, don't you? And take the money, and you're more likely to win stuff. Or if he wants to challenge himself and take on a project and push and what have you, then you come to us and see what happens.
Yeah. Look, we'll in the interest of time, there's a lot of things I want to ask you, mate, and we're not going to have all day like we do on a usual stream when I can just bounce back and forth. So let's sort of talk about that then. The project, right? The project. De Zerbi talked a lot about the project on the weekend in his post-match interview, saying, the reason why I did Berghvall over Bentancur was because of the project. It's not a huge deal that the players weren't. It's frustrating, but the players aren't physically ready. They're not, for a bunch of different reasons. But it's a project. It's a project. It's a project. The Rome wasn't built in a day. Essentially, defending, excusing, explaining the fact that they weren't ready for the first game of the season against a team that is a very, very, very difficult place to play. Now, if you've been watching my content over the last few days, mate, that I did lose my shit because I was so excited, and I'm not going to apologise because I'm an emotional guy, wears my heart on my sleeve. But how did you take the whole endeavour? Were you as angry or similarly frustrated, or are you leaning towards the kind of lose the battle, win the war mentality that some fans are taking?
I tend to try and be quite laid back about this stuff. Like, I'll be passionate and shouty and ranty like during games, like when I'm in emotions watching it. But after that, I try and sort of get out of that and cleanse it and have a think about it and whatever. I think from what we've seen throughout the pre-season, the club, whether it's De Zerbi, well, it must be De Zerbi and the medical staff, whatever, they're very much going with the lose the battle or win the war mentality. He clearly hated the pre-season tour because he's said numerous times it took days out of training. They couldn't train properly while they were there. People picked up little niggles, etc. And with the way that our luck has gone, they're also clearly being very, very careful with players that pick up knocks or are coming back from injuries, etc. So I think no matter what we think or how annoyed you are at it, that's what they're doing. And they're banking on, what's the phrase? like push a snowball downhill and it just gets bigger and bigger sort of thing. They're planning on it's just going to ramp up and get better as everything falls into place sort of thing. And
Okay,
I think
but how much of what went wrong was because of certain players not being in the team, certain forwards not being signed, and because of not having enough minutes in the legs versus not wanting to fight for the second ball or getting bullied and beaten and bested by bigger players, stronger players, which you're not going to fix now. You are where you are. You might get a Cody GAKPO, maybe not now tonight, but Savinho and Marmoush are not going to help the physicality golf, right? Which to me, I've been calling it, screaming it out for a long time. That to me is a concern. And on Saturday, it exposed itself in the first week. Newcastle is another chance where it's going to be exposed. Then you got Nottingham Forest, who aren't tiny, but then maybe not as physical. Maybe they are in the midfield and defence, but it's another problem. And then Everton is another huge team. So, like, if we're banking on the kind of it will all get better with time thing, time doesn't make the guys grow 2 inches.
No, but it's all linked together and how the team plays and whatnot. Because for a start, the Brentford thing, they are a very, very unique challenge. Because normally you'd say in a front three of a striker and the 2 wingers, you've got maybe a big holdy-uppy guy, maybe a fast guy, maybe a techie guy, or some variation of those 3 things. Mm-hmm. Like Newcastle next week, they're all fast. None of them are super big. None of them are super strong.
Some of them are. Joel
Voltemade might be if he plays, but the others aren't.
Okay, but you've got like Sven Botman, you've got Jacob Ramsey.
I'm talking about general play, not set pieces are a problem, and that's another thing, I think. But in general play, the reason Brentford is such a problem is because Thiago is big and strong and pretty quick for his size. Ouattara and Schade are both lightning, but they're also amazing in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So all Brentford were doing was going direct in one channel or the other, and they know one of those 3 players are going to win. Mm-hmm. That is a unique situation. I can't think of many other clubs that can do that.
Well, but Van Hecke is 6'4", right? But he looks really suspect in the air.
It depends on the situation. He may be 6'4", but he's a bit like Micky in that he doesn't jump. And Schade is 6'1", 6'2", and can jump.
Yeah, and I know, 100%. It's not just about height; it's about leap, it's about hop as well, right? So, 100%. But like, are you not a little bit concerned by this? Because I am, and I'm not putting the baby out. I'm not reacting to the game because I've been saying this for. If you watch the show, Steve, I've been saying this for months.
I know, I'm with you. What I'm saying is, I'm not too concerned in terms of what happened in the open play. Set pieces, definitely, we're probably in a bit of trouble. But from the challenge that Brentford presented during the game, actual playing, they're quite unique. Because if you think everyone was worried about the speed of them, I don't remember the centre-backs getting burnt in behind too much. It was all aerial, which screwed us up. And I know Berghvall had a bad game and Tonali wasn't great, but they were just running backwards and forwards with their head in the air. Because it all stems back to me for a lot of this game of we had no threat. So Brentford can do exactly what they want. We couldn't play out from the back because their press was so high, and their press was so high was because you can literally stand on top of Richie and he's not going to do anything. Micky Moore, the same, unfortunately, and Tel did some nice things, but again, he's not going to do Coyote for pace or physicality 1v1. You need to get him on the edge of the box so he can do a bit of tricky stuff. But we never got there. So all they had to do was press for their life, we boot it long, they instantly win it, and then starts again.
Yeah, okay. So on that basis, are you so you said you're concerned about set pieces and you're not too concerned about aerial threat in the main part because Brentford is a unique, specific beast. I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that 100%. That's fine. I don't think it's necessarily unique. No, I don't think it's unique because I think that you're going to find similar things with Everton. I think you're going to find them with Sunderland. I think you'll find them with Coventry. I think you might find them with Ipswich. And I certainly think you're going to find them with Arsenal as well. So I don't think it's unique. I think you could get to the point where once every 3 weeks, we're going to be facing a similar threat. We have to find, and that's just in the aerial threat from open play. Set pieces is a whole nother beast, which is a bigger problem, more frequently found. But here's the other concern I have about what we saw, which I wasn't expecting. Didn't expect this. Didn't predict this at all. Not that I'm trying to play the "I told you so" game at all.
No.
But we were second to every second ball. De Zerbi acknowledged it. The press wasn't. There was no pressing. But you have people like Richalison running around chasing shadows like Bugsy on the park, and that screams to me that they haven't touched that side of their preparation on the training ground, because it looked appalling. Like half the team were standing off, as you should do if you can't affect the press, and the other half were chasing shadows. I mean, are we not? Are you not concerned about that stuff as well? It's okay if you're not, but I really am. I thought it was awful.
No. From what we've seen during pre-season and even during that game, I think the in-possession stuff will come with better players sitting in, getting a bit more used to and whatever. Like, even during that game, we did play out a couple of times in some nice plays and got forward doing it. It was very fleeting, but we did do it. And you know what he wants to do. You know how it works and it makes sense. Even during pre-season and during that game, I think our out-possession stuff's been pretty bad. The pressing, for the most part, has been terrible. The pressing was good against crap teams because they couldn't play out.
Sure.
The pressing, to me, the problem seems to be, and I think you mentioned it just then, is none of the backline get involved. So our front four were going. The two midfielders were kind of backing them up.
No, they weren't. They were staying. Tonali stayed. Berghvall didn't know what he was doing. Berghvall didn't have a fucking clue what he was doing, did he?
They went back and forth, but they weren't at it. They were kind of there. But none of the fullbacks never jumped. So Brentford always had an outball to one of their fullbacks, which stood on the side. Because Gray or Robertson, neither of them jumped. And remember when you used to we did it a bit under Frank, we certainly did it under Ange, you'd always see Porro or Udogie screaming up the line to press on to who would essentially be their man. And if we're not going to do a proper full man-to-man press like that, you may as well not press, because you're just going to struggle unless you get it really right. I've had a theory for some time that's gone with the last couple of managers, is our press tends to be really bad when any of the kids are involved.
Yeah, okay. So let me ask you that then.
Don't know what to do.
Okay, so in the interest of time, I want to get through a couple more questions before we have to move on, mate. With that, let's talk about Archie Gray, captain of the team. Lots of leadership options that they could have gone to, new boys that they didn't decide to go to. A lot of people are talking about it. I've got a problem with it. Don't want to cast shade on the boy because he's a kid, but don't understand it. Doesn't make any sense to me. What's your thoughts?
I don't care, if I'm honest. It's one of those things where he is, what was he, the fifth choice captain technically? He's very rarely going to be captain. It just so happens that none of the others are around for this game. So I think it's not as big a problem. And they include.
Is it a bigger problem okay, fair enough. That's a good point. But like Robertson not involved in the leadership group, why did we sign him if not for his leadership and experience?
I think that's just a misnomer sort of thing. He will naturally be doing leadership type things around the place. You don't need him to be in a leadership group, so to speak. He will just do it. I think for me, that's the point of having leaders. If they're there and they're good, they don't need to be told they're in a leadership group. They'll just do it.
Then why do you need a leadership group then?
To make people feel better and to try and
make people feel better.
Well, sorry, that was the wrong phrasing. I think what it more is getting. Some people, it will be their relationships with people in the squad. Some of it will be language. Some of it will be experience. And if they are, a lot of the managers said this, if they are, grooming is a bad word, but if they are grooming Gray to be the next captain or down the line sort of thing, then you need to get him experience doing this sort of stuff and be around the people that are doing it and in those sorts of conversations. So it's never a black and white sort of thing. I don't see him being captain very much, and I think just being it, I don't even know if they go into a different room as the leadership group and make decisions and then go out and do different things or have meetings with De Zerbi and then go and spread it to the squad or whatever they do. Him being around it and in it is probably a good thing long term if that's what you're expecting of him. But the others are going to be the captains, not him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe there's some value, long-term value. And again, this comes back to what De Zerbi's talking about, the project thing. Like, it's nice to hear him talking about a project because it makes you think he's here for the long term. But I don't know, man. Like, I've got to be honest. Listen, we have to move on. So I want to ask you one last question about what's coming, not what's just happened. But it's like there's a lot of people waiting. So unfortunately, 7, 8, 20
no
minutes,
worries.
whatever we got. But listen, Steve, I do want to ask you, Charlton on Wednesday. Would you be going full strength?
Oh, I really don't know what to do about this game because we need to get through it. So you can't just bin it. And one part of me very much wants to put that starting 11 out again and say, sort yourselves out. You've got an hour, 70 minutes, go win the game. Prove to me that was a one-off and we're going to be better. But I would like to see Luca Williams-Barnett. So Tel did well enough. So maybe you can say to Tel, right, lad.
As full strength as you can go, but maybe drop Gallagher and bring in Luca. Like maybe throw a little bit more caution to the wind because at the moment the front three with Gallagher in it it's quite a defensive front. The middle three is quite defensive.
Yeah, you can do that. Or Mikey's he's going to be going on loan, isn't he? So I don't know if they'll use him again. But having said all that, I would like to get minutes into the legs of the people that didn't play as well, the ones that are coming back.
Micky Van der Ven, Pedro Porro.
Yeah, Fernandes that played a bit and was obviously better than everyone else.
Do you know what's really weird, Steve? Is like you sit there and half of my mind is like you don't want to get minutes into the legs because you don't want to tire them for Newcastle or risk injury. But on the other hand, if they haven't had any minutes in their legs, they need minutes in their legs. So it's like one of those kind of like rock and a hard place situations, isn't it? Chicken and egg.
I was talking to a mate the other day, and basically we're a bit stuck because of some our own fault and some not our fault through injuries and pre-season, etc. We're kind of stuck. And I think in my head now, I have rationalised it to basically these first, is it 5 or 6 games before the international break?
Yeah.
This is effectively our extended pre-season because we're going to be...
me right off that. I hate that. Fucking hate that.
It's a fact though, mate. You can't do much about it now.
It's not pre-season.
Coming back,
it's not
new
pre-season.
Signings, blah, blah, blah.
3 points at the start is 3 points at the end, right? Like the 3 points that we gave up because we weren't prepared against Brentford are as valuable as the 3 points you might need to get into the Champions League, whoever we're playing last game of the season. Like for me, failing to plan is planning to fail. And I feel like, I'm sorry, like I'm usually someone that leans positive, mate, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm okay with the fact that we weren't ready and that everyone's giving this guy like a long runway to the international break to get up to speed. Get the fucking team up to speed. You came in March. Half the team were here in March. And a lot of the players that played on Saturday played in the pre-season. I'm not okay with this. I think it's excuses. Straight out of the trap.
It's also a reality because a lot of the stuff that you would class as excuses has actually happened. So it has
happened. It has happened.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's okay that it's happened.
No, but it's also not something to get too worked up about. It's happened. It's done now. You can do hopefully they're doing the deep dive into why it's happened. And then next year, I'll put it this way. If we do a similar thing next season by going pre-season to some stupid place and half the squad's still injured and the new signings that we need are late but there's no World Cup next year, so a lot of the players won't be back, etc. If that happens again next year, I'll be right there with you. But I think
Mate, if I had the time to ask, I will ask you, but one sentence answer. If the excuse is the World Cup, why wasn't Tonali ready?
I'm not sure if Tonali wasn't ready. I think he was just having to cover every blade of grass because Berghvall wasn't ready.
Nah, man, that's an excuse, bro. Tonali was just as bad as Berghvall. They were both.
No.
Berghvall gave the ball away a couple more times than Tonali did, but Tonali didn't do anything with the ball. I don't expect Berghvall to, but I expect Tonali to be very clever. He was terrible. I'm sorry, people wanna like paper over that crack because he's our new £100 million shiny toy. He was dog shit, Steve. Listen, we'll pick this up. We'll pick this up again. We'll pick this up again, mate. Steve, we'll come. I'll be doing another show later this week on Friday or something. So
no worries, man.
Come back on then, mate. I appreciate you so much, mate. And thanks again. Thanks for coming on.
Take care. See ya.
Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you. Before I bring in the next one, I love Steve. He's always first. He's always early. He's always He's always so calm, isn't he? So calm. Big up to you before I bring in Hull Spurs. I'm not even sure what Hull Spurs' first name is. Just big up to Daniel Phil for the gifted Spurs Talk Show membership. Big up to you, Daniel boy. Appreciate you, mate. Whoever it was that received that, please say thank you, guys. The link is out if people want to come on. Depending on how there's about 4 or 5, 6 people in the background, I think at the moment. So depending on how many want to join, then I'll turn it off. So if you do want to come on, now's your time to come in and just sort of enter the background waiting list. Because once it gets to a certain number, I'll be turning it off. Big up to you. Paul Petty says, Sean, has the blood pressure come down? Yeah, I've got no idea if my blood pressure was high. It probably was. But ultimately, I haven't changed my mind. No, I haven't changed my mind at all. People telling me to calm down, as I've been saying all week. Calm up. Calm up. There's a lot to be concerned about. And I'm not particularly impressed with what I've seen from De Zerbi. Really unimpressed. I'm not getting out of control with it. But like the quotes, super suspicious quotes from him. Robert Palmer says, rather use £75 million we would have spent on GAKPO for Krupi in January. Less worried about Brentford after seeing the others struggle. Lindsay Clancy thoughts. Don't have any thoughts on that person because I'm not familiar with them. Unless I'm mistaken, is that someone that's new on the block? I haven't heard his name or her name. It must be a he, I guess. Unless we're working into some new paradigm, I don't know. Let's big up to you though. Thank you very much for the super chilly chit chat. Let's bring in the next man. I've seen him a lot in the super chats. Big up to Hull Spurs. How are you, Hull? What's your first name, my man?
Hi, Sean. How are you doing, mate? Yeah, it's Howard.
Hi, Howard. How you doing? Who's the cat in the background?
It's a cat. It's my dog. It's Luca.
Oh, the dog. Oh, sorry, mate. I just saw the I just saw the ears. Sorry. Now I can see it's Lumpy. Is it? Is that his name, Lumpy?
Hey, Sean, this is Luka Modric.
Oh, Luca.
It's Luka Modric, mate.
I apologise, Luca, and I apologise to you, Howard. How could I make such a horrible mistake? And if anyone watches the show back, they'll see what I was seeing and think that might have been a cat. I apologise. How are you, mate? Good to see you, Howard. You okay, mate?
Yeah, great, Sean. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm coming through on Saturday, so I'll be, I think, in the coach and horses. You fancy a beer before the game?
Yeah, quite possibly, mate. I'll be up there from about 1 o'clock on Saturday, so lots of time in the pub. Lots of time, mate.
Yeah. Well, we have this long journey when we come from Hull, so we travel down to Peterborough, jump on the train to Finsbury Park, one stop to Seven Sisters, and then basically back home again. So let's hope it's not another defeat.
Home in Hull or home in Peterborough? Did you say?
No. I'm from Hull. Obviously, yeah. So we drive through from Hull to Peterborough, pick up the train to Finsbury Park, then jump on the tube straight through to Seven Sisters. So usually I get about maybe 4 or 5 tickets a year. Obviously, being part of the Hull Spurs official club. And then obviously you've got to be part of the Tottenham Hotspur Plus to get the tickets through. So I've been looking to get a ticket for Newcastle game. I'm looking forward to it. It should be good.
What is the what's the round trip journey time then to get from Hull to Tottenham and back?
Probably about 3 hours, Sean. About 3 hours. But I mean, if Sky always spoils it, they always change it to 5:30, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But there again, I've been following Tottenham since 1978. It's a long story. I followed England home and away in the 70s, 80s, and I met up with an old pal of mine, Bob, who lives in North Weald, and he invited me down once to go and see Tottenham's game, because I only followed England at the time. And the first game I ever saw was Spurs versus Southampton, and Matt Le Tissier was making his debut. Yeah, so
good player.
What a player! Yeah, good player. Good.
You know what would be interesting? I don't know whether he would fit into the Premier League this day and age. Similar to like Eric Cantona, I don't know if there's the same amount of patience for that sort of slower but technical maestro. I don't know. I feel like the game has moved into some weird. For me, I'm unapologetically against it. I don't like the fact that everyone now has to be someone who can run 100 meters in 11 seconds or less, and someone who can bench 200 pounds or whatever. It's not really my idea of a good football basic framework, but it is what it is. Listen, Howard. Let's rather than like sort of reminisce on the old days, mate, or anything else. Let's get down to where we're at. Same questions I was going to ask. Well, I asked Steve. Then let's start with the Archie Gray thing. It seems to be winding people up. As a fella who's been around, who's been seeing a lot of talented players over your lifetime, I'm sure. Are you Archie Gray taking away Steve Perriman's youngest captain of the football club's history? Is Archie Gray the right owner of the youngest captain in the club's history kind of moniker, or was that a mistake, or can you understand it?
No, I don't understand it, Sean. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he came from Leeds. Was it 40 million? 20-year-old taking away Steve Perriman's sort of history? I don't agree with it. I don't know what was going on with that. It's silly. They have this sort of like De Zerbi was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he was number 4. I just don't understand, Sean. I must admit, on the touchline while I was watching the game at weekend, you've got Van der Ven, you've got Pedro Porro, and they're also. Where's Kudus gone? Has he disappeared?
No, he'll be back for. Apparently he was ready, but he went to Ghana for his
grandma's funeral. Grandma's funeral. Yeah,
for either Charlton or Newcastle.
Yeah,
and
I don't agree with it. No, I don't agree with it, Sean. No, I didn't agree with the captaincy. I mean, to be honest with you, it's like how can I word? It's like a rabbit in the headlights. He walks out there as a captain of one of the best teams in Europe, without a doubt, and Spurs are, regardless of what people think, we are one of the best teams in Europe, and the history and everything behind it. To walk out to captain the team, I don't understand what it was all about. Probably Enoch behind it or something. I don't know. Poster boy,
I had someone on the live stream earlier on today. Harry Hotspur, love the guy. Very unique.
I watched it.
Yeah, and he was suggesting that maybe some of the decisions that are a little bit perplexing right now are being led by Enoch, sort of pushing the needle, pushing the narrative. I'm not sure. I love a conspiracy, but I don't know if I believe that one, especially maybe so with Thomas Frank, maybe certainly so with previous managers. With this manager, I think he probably wants to. I'm not sure I'm getting on board the idea that he's already compromised or he's a yes man. I think he's very much his own guy. I'm more willing to just question some of his own decisions rather than assuming that it's some other weird thing in the background that they're pushing certain narratives. What's your take on that one, Howard?
Yeah, I agree with you, Sean. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Robert De Zerbi is going to be always a manager, basically, what will do what he wants to do. And that's why they brought him in last year to turn it all around and saved us from relegation. And that was a fact. We was going to go down. And that game against Everton, it was showing his passion to see that he'd done what he needed to do. But I'm just a little bit unsure what's going on with this forward line, Sean. I must admit with you. It's a bit strange what's going on. I don't think GAKPO's going to come. It seems the other two Man City lads, Mabosh is definitely not coming. I don't think he is. And it just seems as though we're getting back into the 2025. I think 2025 we're going back to where was disappointed in the forward lines again.
Why don't you think Marmoush is coming?
I don't really know. I sort of like look through what's going on. I mean, what I'm reading, and you're probably reading it, but better than what I am, is it's a loan, so it's a £50 million loan, and I just think Man City are so. And I've got to say, they're a little bit more above us on the monopoly board. You know, they're the Mayfair Park Lane. We're sort of like the stations, and they're sort of like dictating to us what's going on. And I'm not that sure that it's going to go through. If somebody comes in,
just to let you know, I have heard tonight from people who are in the same sort of WhatsApp groups of people that are in the whole ITK bucket. And the guy that I know, I'm not going to spill any names on it, but I asked the same question because there was rumors out today that Marmoush isn't, like people were saying that the Here We Go was removed. But what I've heard tonight from those guys are that it is happening, and that they're recording some, like, so Savinho's passed his medical. That's going to be announced tomorrow, apparently. Good. And that Marmoush is also going to be announced. But they're doing something with Spurs. Am I wrong? I might be wrong about this. I might be misquoting, but Spurs Morocco or something, or Spurs. They're doing something with like an international Spurs thing, like part of the whole welcome video thing. So apparently it's done. Apparently it's done. Right. So I don't know. I'm just reporting what I've heard from people that definitely do know a thing or two about a thing or two. And they're saying that there's no concern. So let's hope that Marmoush is okay.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with the Egyptian media.
Egyptian, sorry, not fucking Moroccan. Sorry, you're absolutely right. Apparently, there's something happening with the Egyptian Spurs franchise or whatever, like Egyptian Spurs thing. So apparently, all of that's being orchestrated right now, or tomorrow it's going to be filmed or something. I don't know what I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've heard. But apparently, there's no issues with Marmoush, and Savinho's done. So we're going to hear about both of them in the next 24 hours. 48.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good thing. Let's be honest with you. We all watched the game against Brentford, and we had no ideas up front. No ideas upstairs. I mean, bloody hell. Sorry, apologise. We'll look at Richalison. I mean, he falls more times than you see a horse at the National. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's just, I can't believe, we've still got it. And Micky Moore, as far as I understand, Sean, he's going to Cologne.
Cologne, yeah.
Is it Cologne?
Not Cologne, Colne, FC Colne, Koln.
Oh, FC Colne, sorry, yeah. So he's obviously on his way out. So De Zerbi's doing what he said he would do. He said he wants two players in each position. And if you go through the squad at the moment, he's probably winning out. We've probably got one or two more extra ones in the midfield. Conor Gallagher, I'm still not sure about him. I think he was just brought in for lastminute.com in January. But the midfield, obviously, he's got to get that right, because basically it was not there at all. Berghvall, in my opinion, is a great young lad, but he needs to go out on loan.
Would you sell Lucas Berghvall right now? The rumours were a week or two ago that we could have got £55 million for him from Brighton, maybe Newcastle. Looks like Newcastle have signed Nico Gonzalez tonight from Manchester City, so that door's probably closed. But maybe Forest and maybe Brighton are still looking for a midfield general to come in. Maybe they saw that performance and thought, you know what, he's not ready, so maybe those doors are closing. But if the opportunity was there, would you sell him, or do you think that there's still a lot to offer from the kid and not to sell him just yet?
Yeah, my opinion, Sean. One thing about me is I speak my mind, and yeah, we need to sort of like sell him or offload him because basically he was like a headless chicken on Saturday, and it's not his fault. He's been thrown in there as a 20-year-old. He's not experienced. I mean, the previous guest said exactly what I thought when he was saying the same thing. To me, it was a pre-season that wasn't a pre-season. They weren't really fit enough. They weren't on the ball. They weren't on the time. The balls were sort of like short. It was like the first game of a pre-season game. They weren't ready for the Premiership, and I blame why the hell did we go to Australia, New Zealand? I don't get it. Well, I do get it. It's down to money. But, you take these players all the way across the world and then come back again and then expect them to pick it all up. I mean, I watch probably like all the supporters which are watching your show tonight, all the Spurs training sessions, and they all look on it. They look on the ball, they look fast, they're moving quick, you can hear what they're saying. But they did not do that on Saturday.
Yeah, which I think, and that sort of leads back to, I guess, like sort of lazy inference here. But this is when De Zerbi says we're not a team yet, and that you can put together a nice bunch, a nice squad or a nice playing staff on paper, but it takes time to build a team. And then you look at what Brentford do. And like I say, I don't think that for the most part, maybe in the front three, there's a couple of arguments for it. But from the goalkeeper, possibly Kelleher for Kinsky. In fact, I think that's probably reasonable. But the four defenders and the three midfielders that Brentford had, I don't think really there's any likelihood that Tottenham fans would want any of those players. But yet they absolutely dominated us because they know how to play as a team. So I had the conversation with Steve in the last segment. I'll ask you the same question. What does it take to get these players that we've signed that on paper, especially if you bring in Savinho and Marmoush and maybe GAKPO or someone else, then of course, you look at the squad and you go, you know what, Tottenham do have talent twice over in good positions across the park, right? We have. If there's an injury to one, there's someone else that can step in. There's no real weaknesses. Whether there's world-class players or not, that's another conversation. But how do you get these individual talents to gel? Does it just take time, or is it more about the style and the sort of, I don't know, the way that De Zerbi teaches them to have relationships? And is the fact that we have changed the squad so much this summer, that is going to take time to gel, right? Because you don't just become best mates after sort of 20 minutes of knowing each other. So, how long do you think it's going to take for these guys to be able to work? Or is there something else missing and it's not just time that's needed?
Right, good point. If we go back to our school days, when we first joined our first primary school or senior school, we went in there nervous, but we met a load of new people who became our friends, if that makes sense. And I think what's happening, no matter how good they are, how much they're worth, how much they're on, the human beings, the footballers, and suddenly you've got all these people all being brought in together to gel as this football team, the project, to do what Robert De Zerbi wants us to do. Now, they've got to learn that. They've got to learn each other. They've got to understand their own personas, their own individual sort of perception of the game, and then understand that individual person alongside you. I'm playing alongside you, Sean, and I'm playing at left of midfield, and you're on the right wing. I've only just met you. And suddenly I'm going to say, right, Sean, I'm going to look up down there past it. You don't know me. So all of a sudden, they've got to understand that. That's going to take time to build. I understand the time for a project. Now, this is what's going to happen. We've got some very, very good quality players coming in, some very good experienced players coming in. Are in. But they've got to learn off each other. They might have played against other. I mean, Robertson said the same thing. I'm joining the club, which I don't know them, but I played against them. And I think that summarises it as a whole. You've got Robertson.
How long do you think? I'm with you 100%, and I think it's a good analogy you just used about going to school, right? And and for what it's worth, I've just started streaming with the guy Harry this morning. This is the second time I streamed with him. The first time I didn't know him at all. Second time was a little bit easier. Maybe the third time we start to know each other's jokes, know each other's triggers. So it becomes things get a little bit more fluent the more you know someone. How long do you think that you should be patient for as a fan before, if the results don't start coming, like if we lose to Newcastle, if we lose to Forest, if we draw against Everton, the fan base is going to start to get irritable, itchy feet, and start to question all those things, right? They already are, by the way. They already are. I already am. I'm saying this. I'm concerned a little bit by what I've heard. So, how long is enough string before you start to say, okay, you've had long enough now, you should be able to figure these things out?
Well, I think we've got to sort of give it time. We can't just keep sacking managers, then bring another one in, and then suddenly think they're going to be the magician, the Paul Daniels, the whatever, the David Blaine, who suddenly say, we're going to employ you, and just put this magical wand and say, wishy, washy, wishy, you're now Premiership boys. No, it's not going to work like that. I think it's going to take us probably... I would say till Christmas. Honestly, yeah. I'm going to say let's go to the January window. Let's see where we are in the league. I predict we'll probably be about midway to the top. Well, midway to maybe top 8. We're not going to be. Look, Sean, I've got to say as it is. I don't think we're going to qualify for Europe. I think we're going to take a long time to build this project up. I just hope that ENIC, and I have no really respect for Lange and the rest of them, to be quite honest with you. They've only just panicked like mad and suddenly gone, let's open the purse strings. And let's try and save it. We don't want this to happen because God, how much money would have lost if we'd have gone down to the Championship, and that's what we've gone and done. So I think it's going to take a long while. I think it's going to probably take maybe Christmas, January transfer window to just tweak it a little bit. But I don't believe that we're going to qualify for Europe. Honestly, I don't. I just want us to.
Sorry, Howard. I feel like what you're saying there is actually quite reassuring and realistic. I like where your logic is going regarding it takes time. I think we are, and maybe I'm guilty of it a little bit. Like I'm an emotional guy, so when I see what I see, I'm going to react the way I react. But I actually think that what you said there is sort of reassuring me a little bit, in as much as, just because it isn't clicking yet doesn't mean it won't click. But at the same time, if you're going to go down that path, then you have to reassess your expectations of the season. So you can't have it both ways as a football fan. You can't expect Tottenham to finish 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, and also expect us to not click until October, November, or Christmas. If you are on your path where you're saying, I think it's going to take until Christmas until we really start to gel, then that's fine. And I hope that the ownership is patient. But then this season, the expectation should be mid-table to 7th, 8th, or 9th, and then next season's the year when you really kick on, because you haven't got to have wholesale changes.
Yeah, fully agree. Yeah, I've got to say, I'm saying it as it is, Sean. I don't think we're going to qualify for Europe. We need to push into that middle table, get some sort of balance in the results. We lost to Brentford, but there again, if we'd have got a 1-1 draw, that would have been a fantastic result. We're going to get Newcastle on Saturday. If we get a 1-1 draw or a draw against Newcastle with this new build, that's a good result. And let's build from the negative to the sort of mediocre to, we're not going to go out and beat Man City 4-5-0. We're not going to go to the Emirates and beat Arsenal 3-0. We're not going to go to Chelsea, which is my biggest enemy, to be honest with you. I can't stand them. we'll never, at the moment, we're not going to go there. So let's be realistic. Let's sort of like get there and do what we need to do. Let's put the foundation in place. Let's build on it, and let's not rush because. Yeah, of course I've been watching your show for a long, long time, Sean. You're probably one of the best, we'll call them not moderators, but the host that there is out there, I must admit. And one thing I do like about it is because you're very honest and you're very intelligent what you're saying. And I've got to sort of like say, yeah, do you know something, Sean? You're spot on. We're not going to be realistically winning anything at the moment with the gel that we need to have. It's a set of young kids coming to a new school, and let's everybody get to know each other. Let's move forward. Let's try and improve on the last result. And as long as we do that, it's going to be a successful season.
You know what, Howard? It's been a breath of fresh air talking to you, my man. I think this is the first time we've spoken, is it? Or am I mistaken? Have you spoken before? It's the first time, right?
Yeah, it's the first time, Sean, yeah.
Hopefully it'll be the first of many. I will endeavour to do another show after the Charlton game and probably on Friday maybe. So if you can come back on then, please do, buddy. But listen, I've got to move on to the next guys, mate. So Howard, big up to you, my man. Whole Spurs, big up to Whole Spurs. If you have any sort of channels or anything, or if anything you need to plug, just let me know in the background before you jump off, mate, and I'll plug it for you. But Howard, I've got to move on to the next guys. Thank you so much for coming on, mate, and thank you for your support on the channel. See you next time, mate. Take care. Wow, what a debut. What a debut for Howard, eh? He comes in, just calms everybody down a little bit. You know what? Things take time. Things take time. Relax, calm down. I was about to say calm up, but you know what? I don't think I needed to. I think he sort of, he chilled me out a little bit. You know, the blood pressure's a little bit smaller. Let's see where the next one takes us. We have Choppy Cheese. This man he's a lovely sweetheart of a guy. Here he is, Chop. How are you, bro? Good to see you, mate. You okay?
What's going on, Shawnee? Everything's good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Well, I feel a little bit better after listening to Mr. Calm. Yeah, all is calm at sea. You know, he makes a good point. Maybe we need to sort of refrain and refract and sort of, I don't know, dilute our expectations back to reasonable levels. Otherwise, we're going to give ourselves an aneurysm. And his expectations are sort of 7th, 8th, 9th this season. But he's not expecting miracles until the gel is gelling. I don't know if you feel the same. I tell you, I definitely didn't feel the same. I'm not sure I still do. I've still got higher expectations than 7th, 8th, or 9th. But at least I can understand the logic there. Where are you at, my man? Where are you at, Chop? What's going on?
So I feel like I've said this to you before, but I'm a Hotspur fan from my dad's side of the family. My mom is actually born and raised in Paris, so she's a PSG supporter, and so is like all my family in Paris. So I support PSG and Tottenham, and if you could imagine, it's like two different universes. PSG, they just win all the time, back-to-back Champions League winners. It's like for them winning is really not an issue, and then you come to our side of the equation, and it's like every win feels so valuable. So I feel like I really feel like Tottenham has shown me this. Without rain, you can't have sun. You know, like there's no sunshine without rain, and because we have a lot of rainy days, and because a lot of the time in the Tottenham community it's dooms and gloom, it feels really. I don't know, special to support the club when we come through winning times, like winning a Europa League. You know what I mean? It makes it all much worth it. So I feel like my expectations for this season, to be honest with you, I would just like to see us be back in the Big Six. People call us a Big Six club, a top six club. So I feel like I would love to see us finish sixth. That would be like dream world stuff for me right now. But if we finish 7th, 8th, 9th, I would see that as massive improvement. And I wouldn't be stressing too much.
Do you think, though, that the fan base at large, the general fan base, of which there are millions of people, never a consistent opinion, will they tolerate the patience required to gel and then win a few, lose a few, win a few, lose a few, hopefully win a few more, lose a few less, sort of thing, where maybe you start slow but you come through strong at the end? Or will the fan base turn toxic if we were to, say, lose against Newcastle and then maybe drop points against Forest? I mean, Forest is we've got a particularly nasty kind of opening start. Like there's no sort of nice little, I don't know, like Coventry at home or Ipswich at home in the first four. You know, it's Brentford away is a difficult one. Newcastle at home. Well, I'd rather Newcastle at home than Newcastle away. I know you've got to play everybody twice, but when you're trying to feel your way through the early stages of a project, it would be nice. It would be nice if you could have a couple of like kind of gimmies, semi gimmies in there. You know, do you think that the fan base will stay patient as long as you will?
You know what it is? Well, now I told you my views on like how supporting Tottenham is great because we don't have it all good all the time. But what I will say is, as far as this season, I don't have a crazy amount of patience. I'm sorry if you hear my dog scratching in the background.
Love that. Yeah.
Hey, stop scratching you. Everything's good. So, I'll show you my dog in a second. But what I was gonna say was, watching that first game had me reliving last year's nightmares. Like, I hope that that's a one-off this season, that we look that bad, because I'll tell you what Tottenham Hotspur fans have, and I have it as well. It's PTSD. If we look that shit first game of the season, and then we come out against Newcastle and we get stomped, let's say 2-0, and then we drop points against Forest, yeah, I'm gonna be sitting here like, don't tell me nothing's changed. Don't tell me nothing's changed, because I'm gonna be like, I can't do that again. I can't relive last season again, and
Yeah.
and neither can they. Neither can the owners and the board. Look at the investment they put in. That was
Mm.
yeah, that investment is saying, yeah, that can't happen again. And then if it's sitting here happening again, then you really have to start considering, the culture of the club, what's going on. Why are we backing these young teenagers? We're being very sentimental. And like we can't be so sentimental. Can't be like, oh well, Berghvall, we told him he's part of the future, so let's give him game one. Like, no, it can't be like that. We need to be like serious win now mode.
So okay, so let's sort of move forward then. Do you think the win now mode is amplified? The timeline for it is it expedited by Savinho rocking up into this team and Omar Marmoush? Is there more to do? Rumors tonight that GAKPO is no chop. He's going to Man City instead, or maybe he's not going at all. What are we doing here? Is the dog okay, bro? Is the dog okay?
Yeah, he's a puppy and he's teething, so he's just being a little monster right now. Look at him.
Hey, Pooch! He's having a good time. He's having a
And
good
you want to
time.
know what his name is?
Go on, tell me.
Sonny, after Sun. Sonny boy,
Sonny.
come on.
Nice. Yeah, are we better off with GAKPO? With GAKPO, with Marmoush and Savinho? Does that solve it for us, or is it more than just players on the pitch and talent on
So,
the field?
okay, so that brings me to this point then. Um, It's always more than just the players in sports. Coaching, top down ambition has everything to do. I believe sports in general is like a pyramid. It really falls from the top to the bottom. And if you execute it perfectly, then you become a winning team and possibly a dynasty. So now that they really made the investment and they put a lot in and got us a bunch of players, I think like 8 players we brought in so far this season. It's really up to De Zerbi to prove, like you said, he's one of the highest paid coaches in the league. What's he make? 13 million a season? Well,
Yeah.
you have to earn your keep.
Right.
I need to see, you need to coach these players. You need to get a system going. You need to get belief going. You need to bring in your own winning culture. What's going to fly, what's not going to fly. You need to run a tight ship, and you need to get the ship turned around, because it's still going down. I look. Did you see that game? First game of the season. I feel like we've lost no momentum. Actually, we're just still falling. The season started and we're still falling.
It's like trying to catch a falling knife. Do you have concerns about De Zerbi?
A lot of people are saying like they didn't like what they saw from him on the weekend, like that he wasn't showing enough anger and stuff. But from my view, every time they panned him, he was just pissed and he was just like losing his mind. It was just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. So if he's really that pissed, like I like seeing a little bit of emotion. I want to know the guy's not a robot. If he is genuinely pissed at that performance and he feels like all of us, okay. Game one, week one. We all know that our preseason was shit. We like to fly halfway around the world. We don't do any preparation correctly. We usually don't get our signings in time to embed them for a preseason. So, we always have this issue where we don't hit the season prepared, which pisses me off beyond belief. But I don't think you could judge him too much off that performance. What I want to say is it needs to be competitive against Newcastle. We're home, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we can't lose. I'm
Well,
sorry.
you say that, right? But home form used to be the thing that everyone goes, "Oh, it's a home game," but we've been
No,
so
no,
bad
no. Our
for
home
so
form
long.
is shit. Oh, I know.
Terrible.
What did we win? 2 games last year at home?
Yeah,
3?
yeah.
Yeah, no, no, no. Oh, dude, trust me, I completely get it. But what I'm saying is, you have to nip that in the butt, though. That has to come to a stop. There has to be a time where we're like, oh, we're home. Okay, good energy today. Instead of, oh,
Yeah,
shit, we're home. Negative energy today. Because the
yeah.
fans are going to be on top of us the second we fuck up. And then our heads are going to drop. And then we're just going to completely snowball out of control and just get fucking killed. Right? That's kind of what happens to us. So, what I'm trying to say is, we're going home against Newcastle, new season. We're going to have new signings on the pitch, right? It just can't be a loss. Just even if they pull out a draw, or just one positive foot forward. If you want to take one step forward instead of 2 steps forward at one time, I let's go. But we can't. I can't see a performance like we did last week where you turn the game on. You're so excited. Start of the season. You're watching the game, and as the game starts, 5 minutes in, you're like, "Oh my god, when is their goal coming?"
Well, that's what it was on Saturday, and that's what it was for a
That's what
lot
I'm
of last
saying.
season. So let me ask you this then: like, I obviously I don't get to speak to you very often, Chop, but like most people that I speak to, and I do shows every day, and I look at the energy in the audience in the chat, and they're all pumped. They were all absolutely pumped, thinking so many people that I speak to every day were saying, top 5. If you sign some, even people like Sava, who I love to pieces, but he's someone that generally leans towards the negative or leans towards the more pessimistic of the outcomes because he's seen it. He's seen us flattered to deceive before, and this isn't in any way a criticism of him. It's just an observation of his takes. Even
Yeah.
he said last week, if Spurs sign Savinho and Savinho and Marmoush, given what we've signed this summer, even he, who is the most kind of grounded when it comes to people losing their minds around optimistic expectations, even he was saying top 5 is minimum, right? So, or expectation maybe. I don't want to misquote him, but like I
Mm.
feel like after what I saw yesterday, I feel like this idea of like Rome wasn't built in a day. Like we forget those things. And Howard made me just reminded me of those things about the fact that you're not even as a content creator, right? Like it's more difficult for me to speak to people like yourself who I don't know that well than it is to speak to Johnny or Kate or Jimbo who I know incredibly well. And Chop's obviously gone off to look after his dog, so I'll talk to the chat.
No, no, no. I'm listening. I'm here, bro. I'm here. I'm here. I know what I'm going to answer to you too as well. So finish.
Yeah,
I
that's all
got
good.
this.
I know. I'm just sort of feeling. Yeah, so like, I feel like the kind of the idea of chemistry, it does take time in any walk of life. With your girlfriend, your first date's not as awkward or is
Of
more
course.
awkward probably than your 10th date, right? And the 20th date is less awkward than the 20th year in your marriage. So I feel like that we have to kind of consider that, play that card a little bit in our expectations. But I tell you what, if we get smashed by Newcastle, which is entirely possible,
I know. I know.
and then you've got Forest next week, the week after.
I hate Forest.
I hate Forest, right? I hate them.
I
But you've
hate
got
them.
them next, and then you've got another big team in Everton and David Moyes who's going to set them up in a certain way. There's every chance that we could have an absolute stinker of a start. And I don't think that Tottenham fans are ready for that. I think that that's a problem.
Okay, I agree with you. If we start off that bad, yeah, nah. I mean, I'm gonna be starting to have PTSD, bro. I need it to change. It can't be last season. I'm sorry. I don't know if I have the capacity to take it again. Like, I'll probably just have a heart attack in front of my girl and die. But what what I
Don't
was
do that.
gonna say is here's the thing, right? I have this written down in front of me. He starts that first game with Gray and Berghvall. Now, a lot of people were going into this season saying our front 3 is the biggest issue. That's why we were losing games last year. Our front 3, our front 3. Okay, for me to be honest with you, I thought the biggest issue, and you could just tell me I don't know ball, and that's fine. But to me, my biggest issue was the midfield and the fact that we were starting Gray with somebody, Bergvall with somebody, sometimes them together, and they just can't handle the workload in the midfield. We would get overran. We can't string 2 passes together, and if you can't like play from the back up, then like your front 3 has no chance anyway. We're not going to be creating a lot for them. We had the least through balls created in the Prem. So Gray and Bergvall, when they start together, they've started 5 Premier League games together. We've never won. We've lost 4 and drawed 1.
Right.
Gray win percentage for the club when he just starts in general is only 25% or something like that. We
I
need
think
to
it's eight,
stop.
I think it's his win percentage when we played it's 18%, and when he hasn't played it's like 38% that we win or something. So
Okay,
yeah.
so further proving my point that I'm trying to make here.
But
So
I always think
basically,
those sorts of stats are like you don't hear about the stats unless there's a point. Like people go out of their way to find those sorts of stats because they're trying to make a point, and they'll probably search through thousands of things to find the stat that stands out that makes the point. I don't think anyone would discover that stat. Like there's probably a stat out there about Berghvall that does that, or about Mathys
yeah,
Tel that
there.
does that. It might not be that specific stat, but there'll be if you're trying to make a point that Mathys Tel is shit. I'm sure there's a specific stat that you could use that you could find, that will tell you that story, and then the opposite tells the opposite sort of thing.
I hear you. There's always two ends to a story, but what I am trying to say though is I believe that when we start Gray and Bergvall, that we shoot ourselves in the foot, and that these kids are the kids that should be out on loan, and it's the kids like Langshear and Mikey Moore who should be getting more of a chance than Gray and Bergvall for some reason. And I said it. I hate that Spence left because I liked him, but if he wanted to leave, I understand. You got to let guys go who don't want to be at the club. But we need to get a right back because we cannot go the season with him being our backup right back. We're gonna lose games, man. We're gonna look childish. And
Yeah.
like when they play together, I feel like that's the word to like use. Is like we look childish. They get bullied off the ball, and then to make him our captain is just insane. Like he has no stature in the game at all, and he's our captain. Yeah, wild. So when Deserby came in here last season, the first thing he did was drop them. The first thing he did was drop Gray, drop Bergvall, stop playing the kids, played all the experienced guys, and we started doing something, right? This
And now
season,
all of a sudden he's playing him he played the most minutes in the preseason. He's now the captain.
yeah,
And
don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Please. I do not want when we got Fernandes and Tonali over the line, I was so happy. I wasn't even thinking about the forwards because I was thinking, wow, I don't have to watch Tottenham Hotspur games this year with Gray and Bergvall playing. And then for some reason, first game of the season, I'm watching Gray and Bergvall starting together. And it's killing me on the inside.
it's a good point, and I think that a lot of Tottenham fans would share that actually when you say it like that.
Yeah,
100%.
dude. We need to
100%.
stop playing the kids. They fuck us, man. That's why we're losing games. We've
Yeah.
never won a game with those two playing together, okay? Maybe it will happen in 2032 when they're both like 25 or something, okay? But right now, it's
Yeah.
not the fucking answer, and you're killing me, Deserby. Can you just play Fernandez and Tonali together with like Maddison
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah,
up
yeah. I'm with
and
you, man.
please me?
When you say it like that, man, you make a good point, a strong argument, for fuck's sake. Can we just wait until 2032 before these bozos appear again? I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It's good. Let me
Yo,
ask you this, though. Let me ask you this.
go
Last
ahead.
question before we move on to the next guy, Maddison. It's great to see you, Chop. Great to see you, man. By the
Yeah,
way,
yeah, always.
put your number in the private chat before you leave after we're done. I'll reach out to you personally.
Yeah.
The last question for you is I want to ask a question I haven't asked of anyone else tonight so far. Van Hecke and Senesi. So I'm hearing a lot of people over the last 24 hours say, oh, you know what? Our back four was brand new. You had Robertson, you had Archie Gray, you have Van Hecke and you had and Senesi. Don't worry, because in all likelihood, Porro's coming back soon and Van der Ven's coming back soon. So we'll talk about Van Hecke in a second, but like people are already writing off Senesi when 2 weeks ago, before the window started, people were saying that Senesi was the best signing that we've made this season because he's an absolute baller. And now people are explaining that by bringing Micky van der Ven back in, everything's going to be okay. I'm a bit worried about that, but not that I'm not as concerned about that because I think Senesi's a baller. But Van Hecke, gotta be honest, bro, I'm not impressed so far. Thus far, unimpressed. How do you feel about Van Hecke?
So I think Johnny called it when we first got him. Johnny pointed out that one of his weaknesses is that he likes to do a Romero, but he sucks at it. Where basically he just charges out and tries to like stop a guy and be the first guy out, and then if he gets burnt, there's tons of space behind him. He did that a lot on Saturday and was just getting burnt. Sonny, stop. He's trying to bite this little statue thing I got here. So basically, I think he makes that error consistently, and he's way too aggressive without pulling it off, and then he leaves us vulnerable. And his lack of like aerial jewels one is definitely a concern. Who knows? Though, like that's his first game playing for us competitively. So I just don't want to sit here and judge him off his first game ever. And I have seen him play for Brighton, and he has been a good center back in the Premier League. So let's just see what he has. But I also think it might be a story of you don't know what you got till it's gone, because a lot of people shit on Romero, and then you see this guy come in and you compare him to Romero, and Romero was a beast of a center back when he was on his game. So he just had a lot of bozo moments in him. But without the bozo
Yeah, and a lot
moments,
of characteristics in his
yeah.
personality.
I do. I hear you. But like, when he was man of the match in our Europa League final to win, like him and Van de Ven were immense that game. But yet to see with Van Hecke, but I'm not overly concerned. I do think the guy is Premier level center back. I think he's a good player. So I'm not too stressed out about it. Real quick before I go though, I want to say this to you because I know you're my Mathys Tel guy.
Yep.
I don't like how the argument of Tel and Savino are related. Like if you like Savino, you automatically don't rate Mathys Tel. Like that's garbage.
Yeah, I get that. I hear you. I hear you on that. Yeah.
Because I rate Savino highly. I think he's a wonderful signing for us, and there's so many things that he stands by that I really appreciate in a footballer. But I also rate Mathys Tel. Now, when I say I rate Mathys Tel, do I rate him like he should be our starting winger if we're trying to be a top six club? I don't. I think he's maybe more of a top 10 type player. Like if he was like on the like Brentford, or if he was on a team like that, he would get more notice and more recognition and more appreciation.
Yeah.
I would say as well. But I think Mathys Tel, there's a player in there though. Maybe not 2032. We have to wait for Mathys Tel, but maybe like next year or the year after that, you'll really see
2028
Mathys
guy.
Tel.
He's a 2028 season. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, what I would say about Mathys Tel is just wait until there is someone of equi value on the right-hand side where
Yeah.
the team can pivot down both
Yeah.
sides and then judge him. Because right now we are judging him when he's double and triple man marked, and then the alternative is nobody or Mikey Moore or whoever we were like Kolo Mwani, whoever it was we were putting out on the right-hand side that no one trusted. If we can get Mathys Tel on one side and Savino on the other, or Kudus, and even if it's Savino and Kudus and then Mathys Tel comes off the bench for one of them, then
Yes,
I think
that's
you
what I
can
wanna
judge
see.
him when he's going to be facing one fullback. Then I think you can judge him on his output. Right now, I like him. I understand people don't. I'm just going to back my guy because, that's my guy.
I want to see Kudus, Savino, and Tel being the backup. And
Yeah,
I want
fine.
him to get minutes like that and really learn the craft and try to absorb everything he's seeing.
He can start as the backup, but meritocracy has to prevail. If Savino
Yes.
starts and doesn't do anything, and
I
then Tel
agree.
comes on and scores a goal, Tel starts the next game, and it's his position until he drops it. Is that fair?
Well, 100%, dude. All I want to see is meritocracy. That's why I want to see Greg and Berghvall on the bench.
Good man.
And I know we have issues at striker. We just brought in Marmoush. Last thing, I'll let you could cut me out and answer this. How do you feel about Marmoush? Do you feel like he helps the striker issue? And your overall feeling about the signing?
You asking me?
I'm asking you.
Oh yeah. No, listen. I rate Marmoush, but I think the name carries more weight than the value, because I think that he's a transition player. I think all of the value that he's ever shown, the vast majority of it has been in big spaces. So he's the guy at Frankfurt that played on the shoulder alongside Ekitike. At Manchester City, it didn't work out because they play in tight spaces because they're doing the low block. If Tottenham are going to invoke a De Zerbi ball system, I think that it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it. I think the talent is there, but I think everything that we've seen of him that is sensational is often on the shoulder and transitional play. He's a big space player. Let's see if he can transition to a small space player. He didn't do it at City. Can he do it now? I hope so, but I do think that there's going to be a lot of frustrations with him, if I'm honest.
So at the end of the day, you still think we're screwed at striker is basically what I just got.
Yeah, 100%. I'm happy for him to come in and play off the left if necessary. If Tottenham want to go but Tottenham need a different profile.
Okay, you want a
big
9.
fucking guy, Chop. Okay. I've been saying it for ages. We need a lump. We need a big guy. I'll take Mateta. I'll take Brobby. I'll take Thiago all day long. I'll take Serhu Guirassy. I'll take Osimhen. But we need someone that is a lump, bro. We need a lump, and he's not a lump. Marmoush is not a lump. So
when was the last time you've seen Tottenham not make a signing on transfer deadline day? I think we'll make a transfer on deadline day. Maybe it'll be a big striker like that who's maybe not so highly coveted, but we're willing to take a risk on.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for, mate. That's what I'm hoping for. But hopefully not on deadline day. Hopefully before then. But we got, what is it? We got 6 days, 7 days. We got a week, 1 week to find out what happens.
Yeah, it's deadline day.
Deadline day. Listen, Chop Cheese, mate, absolutely sensational as always from you, mate. Listen, please, before you go, put your telephone number in if you don't mind, in the private chat, and I'll message you on WhatsApp, mate. Love you, man. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Anytime. You have a great day, Sean. Be well. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, Choppy. Great guy. What a guy. Appreciate you, mate.
Be good.
Love Choppy Cheese. We had all three fantastic guests. Steve, Howard, and now Choppy Cheese. Right, next up, Craig making his debut on the show. Before I bring you in, Craig, if you don't mind, just give me 2 seconds. Let me just jump through some of these super chilly chit-chats. And we've got some people jumping in. Choppy Cheese has come back. I kicked him out. I forgot. No, I kicked him out, but then he didn't get a chance to put his number in. That's why he's in the background now. Spurs6659 is saying, big up, Sean. Big up to you, Spurs6659. Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the donation, buddy. Very cool of you. Sunny is life with 1,000 jewels. Big up to you, my man. How are you doing, bro? Damn, how we missed Sunny's life. Although Sunny's life is now a thing for Chop because Choppy now owns a dog for life called Sunny. So very apt. Big up to you for the jewels. That dog looked great, didn't he? Just so inquisitive. I'm going to fucking bite everything. I love it. Big up to Gear from, I like that name. I'll be on the Gear on Saturday. Big up to you. Not with the Norwegian Krona. De Zerbi should get the full season no matter what. 100%. 100%. I agree. Or no matter what is not no matter what technically. If we haven't won a game in 20 games and we're facing relegation, then you're going to have to make the changes again, aren't you? But big up to Howard, mate. Thank you very much for the jewels, bro. And brilliant appearance, my man. He's come back in again saying, great to chat, Sean. We will be okay. Mate, you've calmed me down. Howard. I really appreciate you doing that, my man. Great to see you, buddy. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Fane with a lot of ends. Big up to Fane. Says, from Jimbo, getting down on his knees for De Zerbi, to Harry comparing Tel to Harvey Price. This channel is going down by the hour. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. You know? That Harvey Price. I almost pissed myself when he said that. Compare Tel to Harvey Elliott. I'd rather compare him to Harvey Price. Big up to you, my man. And Sonam619 says, Sean, is there a way that the club has to make them to work because of homegrown stuff? And I have no idea. Jesus, it's hard reading your message. If we played De Zerbi ball from back or like last season. I don't know what you're really asking there, my man. It's a difficult one to read. Certain players are going to have to stay because of homegrown, for sure. I think Solanke will stay. I don't think you're going to sell Gallagher. Same reason. I think all these guys are going to stay. Archie Gray's going to stay. Definitely. Oh, is that what you're talking about? Archie Gray. Yeah, okay. And Berghvall. Well, if Berghvall stays and Archie Gray stays, then they do trigger into... Oh, sorry. Berghvall specifically triggers into a club-trained player. So does Archie Gray, actually, because at the moment he's homegrown, but he becomes a club-trained player, which is super important for European football next year. So that does play into it 100%, for sure. And you have no idea if we played De Zerbi ball from back or like last season. I'm not actually sure what you're saying there, mate, but we didn't play De Zerbi ball at all. So whatever that is, it isn't. Craig, are you there, my man? I can see you in the background. I can see your camera's down. Are you there? There he is. He's here. Hello, Craig. How you doing, mate? Welcome to the show. You okay?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. I've been seeing you in the background. You got a mate round, have you? You on the beers tonight? What are you doing?
Yeah, no, 100% on the ticket. Yeah, no, listen. Yeah, go on. Enough said. But yeah, we're having a few. Got to be done.
It's good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. What's your take on the? Well, listen, we're going round and round tonight on various topics. Where would you like to start? Do you want to start with the game, or do you want to start with the future, or do you want to start with the transfers? Where would you like to go?
It's basically like on the game wise, I actually watched you live. You know, you do the obviously the game live. I was hanging out my arse, so I kept waking up and obviously seeing 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, and I turned it off. So yeah, obviously I had enough of it. But I didn't actually watch the game live. But more to the point, the pre-season is the point I want to get to. Because what the fuck is the point of the pre-season if your players are not ready?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, no, I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean, mate. I don't understand what he said. Like he said, they're not ready. Why aren't they ready?
Go on,
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so literally, I don't understand pre-season. If your players are not ready, what's going on? Oh, that's my dog. Oi, Van, chill. Yeah,
Love it.
Go on, mate. Go on.
No, I'm listening. Go on. Say your piece, mate. Say your piece. Go on. Go say your piece.
Yeah, so mate, the pre-season was an absolute shit show. Tonali's played every fucking game pre-season wise and looked like 50%.
Yeah,
like,
are you worried about that? Are you worried about that?
Massively. We spent 92 million pound on him.
Right.
Massively worried. Would you not be?
No, I 100% I am, because even if De Zerbi's correct on some level, which we don't know about, there's a reason why certain players aren't ready because of the World Cup or because of Australia, yada yada yada. At the end of the day, Tonali didn't go to the World Cup, so Tonali hasn't kicked the ball since May. So what are we doing here? Why isn't he physically fit? Why isn't he ready? That's a disgrace to me, and it's a massive concern.
Mate, it's a massive concern, and I don't know what's going on behind the closed doors of Tottenham. Do you? Because obviously no one knows. But I don't honestly, mate. I think everyone's getting paid a bit too much money, and I don't know if their hearts are in it anymore. And that's why football's half dead to me now. And like it never used to be like that. You know, it used to be proper. You know,
are you a season ticket holder?
I'm not, mate. I'm not. No. And I was going to ask you for a little quaver. I'd love a little ticket if you got one going. Not that kind of ticket, but a football ticket. You know what I
mean? I can sort you out in both, probably. I know people who know a thing or two. Yeah, listen, just reach out to me, mate. If you need a ticket to a game, unless it's like the Arsenals or the high profile games. Obviously, I've got a big circle in the Tottenham space. So if you ever need a game at the stadium, away tickets are difficult, but just message me on. If you want to put your number in, or in the private, or message me on Twitter or whatever. We can always find you tickets for games. So that shouldn't be an issue.
Oh, mate, top man.
Let me ask you this though, mate. I want to talk to you about this story regarding Cody GAKPO.
Yeah.
Do you rate him? Would you like him to be a part of our squad? And are you disappointed that he might be not coming now after tonight's alert?
Mate, listen, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for Spurs. It's a no-brainer. We've got no one that can put the ball in the net, so it's definitely a no-brainer. He's going to Man City, isn't he? He's going to go Man City.
It sounds like it. Or maybe Liverpool won't sell him. I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans. I know a lot of Liverpool fans, and they are all like, we don't really love him here, but he's the best that we have at the moment. Such is the shit show that they're in. Like, I mean, how bad has Isak been since he's been there? He doesn't look like he's half the player since he got his paycheck. I don't know. If not Cody GAKPO, then mate, where do you go to get your final piece of the jigsaw? Assuming that Marmoush, I'll ask you about Marmoush in a second, and assuming Savinho's done. If not Cody GAKPO, where do we go to get our height from for the finish of this window?
Probably Mateta.
Would you take him?
I listen. Mateta's a fucking baller, mate. Like, he does what he does very well. He's very low key, cheap. It wouldn't cost us. It wouldn't cost us a lot, would it? Really, Mateta?
No, I think it'd be like 20 million apparently, because he's the final year of his contract.
And do you know what? He does it well. And then we need obviously a lump up front, don't we? Because I know you talk about. I watch you every day, mate. And I know you talk about height. I know it's a concern. And mate, it obviously is a concern, because you look at Arsenal's squad. They won the league last year. They're all 6'2". Do you know what I mean? There is something in that. But
do you agree with me? Because there's a lot of people that say I'm just a bozo who thinks that height is important.
You're definitely an intelligent bloke, mate. You're not a bozo. 100% not. No.
Appreciate that, mate. Yeah. Listen, I don't know. Like, for me, it's not. People have been pointing out it's not just about height, right? Little guys can jump for sure. It's just, it's not just about height, by the way. It's physicality. I think we're weak. I think we're a weak team. I think we're weak. I think we get pushed over. Archie Gray is 6'2", but he gets blown over by a strong gust of wind. You know, so like,
but he's literally, Archie Gray's got legs like cotton earbuds. Do you know what I mean? Like, he has a snowflake, right? Or a snowflake, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like fucking blows in the wind. You know, whatever way the wind blows, he'll like get an injury. Does that make sense? It's like James Maddison. What are we doing still on our books? He don't fucking play. Fuck him off. Get rid. Like, I know he's most technically, like, listen, I used to play football, so I know he's the most technically gifted player probably in our squad still, 100%. but he doesn't play.
Yeah. Do you? But he's also homegrown. So if you were to get rid of him now, you got a problem.
Morgan Gibbs-White.
Do you know what? Morgan Gibbs-White solves so much, right? He's not a tall guy, but he is physical as they come. He's combative.
And
he can come back. He's for me, he's a hybrid of Conor Gallagher and Maddison.
100%. He's got the press like Conor Gallagher, exactly what you say. And Conor Gallagher can't finish his dinner. Morgan Gibbs-White can finish his dinner, can't he? Every time. It's like, what does he get? 20 GA fucking each year? Like, he's a machine.
I would do a straight swap. I would even be tempted, depending on what it is that Forest value Morgan Gibbs-White at. Let's assume that it's somewhere around 100 million quid. I would be tempted to say, do you want to take Berghvall and Gallagher off of us? And we'll take Morgan Gibbs-White.
Sean, I wouldn't be tempted, mate. I'd bite your arm off for it.
You're not a fan of Berghvall, no?
It makes us. Berghvall, mate. He's fucking, honestly, he annoys the shit out of me because he looks good on the ball, but then he runs into corners.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, Blake? He runs into that every time. And, like, he can't release the ball at the right time. Obviously, there's something going on there, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Berghvall because when the best version of Berghvall was the first version that we ever saw. He was someone that had the ability to look up. He had peripheral vision. He was like he brought wherever he came from the Swedish league. He brought that confidence with him. And then over the last 12 months, 18 months, it seems to have been trained out of him. And now I don't know what he is anymore. But I definitely, if you're getting offered 60 million quid for this donut, take it all day long. Mate, all day long.
Like, honestly, like the people upstairs, with Diston for years, and rightly so, because they've been absolutely shocking and never put their money in a fucking pocket. Do you know what I mean? They've been shocking. And Daniel Levy's now gone, so we've got no one else to blame, have we? And it's like literally, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Like Berghvall, he's a prospect, isn't he? So that's why Spurs want to keep him. Do you know? And I get
we're in a rebuild, so
yeah.
If you can 6x the money on Berghvall, we did it with Vuskovic. Vuskovic, by the way, looked absolutely sublime for Brighton. Man. He looked fantastic, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He fucking did, yeah. He did.
So if you're willing to do it for him, why not do it for Berghvall? If you're going to go all in on the De Zerbi system, either De Zerbi really rates him or he's just pandering to him by playing him. I mean, let me ask you this: like, did you this quickly? The quotes from De Zerbi after the game when he essentially said, I haven't got the quote in front of me, but he said probably should have gone with Berghvall.
Yeah,
he's a better fit. Probably should have gone with Bentancur, better fit, but went with Berghvall because he's 9 years younger, and you have to think about the future and it's a project. I mean, fucking winding me up that was, mate. That really upset me when I saw that.
I think that press conference was an absolute shit show. I think De Zerbi literally come across like he didn't know what he was fucking saying. And I'll be real with you. And I also do think Archie Gray is captain. I mean, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
You can't tell Tonali or Robertson you had a bad game. Man the fuck up. Let's play better. He can't come across them sort of play.
100%.
So then
I think the Gray family have got some dick pics on Vinay or something. There's something weird going on there, There's
on there, mate. And obviously Gray's family are fucking very well known for football, aren't they? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but he's not good enough. He don't cut the mustard. But listen, we don't play him in the right position either. So I will give him that.
He would have got absolutely chewed up and spat out and toast by Janssen and Janelt in that game if he played in the six as well. So he's just not ready. He's not ready for the Premier League. Honestly, he has moments where he looks good. Most of the time when I've been impressed by Archie Gray, it's been in European football when it's a different pace, different standard, different caliber of aggression. Same with Berghvall. If you go and look at the highlight reels of these guys and you will see the best moments, you're going to see them playing against funny looking shirts that you're not familiar with because it was against Hoffenheim or it was against Stuttgart or it was against whoever, Frankfurt, whoever we played. Like, these guys are not Premier League ready yet. And so either you'll want to be patient with them, but they're taking up spots.
I do also think, though, mate. I think Marmoush and obviously Savinho coming in, listen, that is a game changer, because we have had Richalison over the last 5 years or whatever. He is an absolute shit show. He can't trap a door. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's fucking.
Yeah, Richarlison's got to go, but I don't know who's going to take him. And Tottenham want 30 million quid for him. So
I thought Everton come in for him.
Yeah, but they ain't going to pay 30 million quid for him. Did you see our second goal against Brentford that we conceded was, like, once again him demonstrating that he's got the first touch of I'm not going to say the word, I'll get demonetized, but you know the phrase, right? Like, it was just absolutely shocking. The ball bounced off his foot like it was pinball. It went 20 meters back towards Berghvall. I mean, this is a Premier League footballer, Craig. Premier League fucking footballer.
And
what are we doing?
They're getting paid, Mark. They're getting paid out.
You know Richarlison has earned, he's been paid £33 million from Tottenham since he's been at Tottenham. £33 million.
We'll never see that kind of money, Sean. That's mad.
Speak for yourself, bro. I've got ambitions to win the lottery, mate. I've got ambitions for the lottery.
Wait, if you keep drinking them fucking Magnums, you won't, mate. I tell you.
I slipped up today. I was like, you know what? I'm doing the fan show. I'll have to have a couple, just in case I get into a fight. It is what it is. It is what it is. Listen, Craig, mate, I'm going to move on to the next guys, mate. I've got a lot of people here, so I've got to move on, mate. Thank you so much for coming on, Craig. I really appreciate you, mate. Appreciate your support, and thanks for your time.
Take care, man. Take care.
See you soon. See you on the next one. Take care, mate. Appreciate you. What a lovely guy. What a lovely guy. He is absolute sensational. Craig, big up for the debut from the man. Right. Who was Swigsy was next in the list, but he's dropped off. Let me bring in Rain. The option's there, mate. I can see your face. Shake your head or nod your head. You want to come in, Rain? All right, he's coming in. Swigsy, you've been booted, mate. Sorry, you're out of the queue. James, I can see you as well. You're after Swigsy, and then Rain, and then Daniel Larson's after that. Big up to you, Rain. How are you, mate? Good to see you, buddy. You're on mute, mate. You're on mute. Still on mute.
Rookie.
There he is. Absolute shameless, mate. What's going on? How are you?
Complete noob. It's not like I come on friendly shows, is it? How am I doing? I'm all right. I'm all right. Spurs wise, because I'm as I like to say, I'm in the middle. But I've said it before on various shows. I can't remember where I've said it here. But me growing up, when I watched my non-league team, and we got promoted 3 times and relegated twice in about 15 years. So when you've had that kind of football education, what we've been going through is not quite as extreme as the way that some people paint it out to be. I think I'm surprised that more people don't have that kind of grounding in football, and kind of get all het up about stuff. Even though I'm very, very passionate, obviously, about my.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. Like, I'm on the cusp of, like, I feel like I've been around the block enough times to know to kind of keep it together. But at the same time, on Saturday, mate, I was. And it wasn't just because of the out. I mean, a lot of people going like, I don't know if you saw my stream, mate, but I was all over the place. I was so angry, right? But I genuinely think rightly so, mate, because like it wasn't okay. Like it wasn't just the fact that we came in with this expectation of being up here. Maybe that's our fault, and then we got delivered this. But what this was, what it looked like. It looked like it wasn't just like, oh, it's a new project. They're new to this. No, there was no fight. There was no second balls. There was no desire. Those things are not managerial. They're not. That's not tactics. That is. Let me ask you this. Let me summarise this.
We were properly slapped about by Brentford. We were properly slapped about. If it was a bar fight, it was a big guy who was playing with playing with the 18-year-old who's doing the big I am, and he's going bosh bosh bosh, and he's basically like holding him at arm's length.
Let me ask you this. Do you remember? It wasn't that long ago. You remember the De Zerbi ball versions of our team that came out against Villa, against Everton, in that period when we got enough points to stay up. Right, he'd had 2 weeks with Tottenham in that period, right, and he managed to get a tune out of them. Had Brentford away been part of that fixture list, do you think we would have played as badly then as we did on Saturday? And if not, why?
So, a lot of people were getting very excited about, like 1-1 against Liverpool, weren't we? We get very excited about the Aston Villa result, and those were dug out. Those were results that were properly dug out of through hard graft. Especially, with our central midfielders, really grafting. I think we were complacent against Brentford. I said it on here, said it elsewhere. A lot of people just forgot, and I think maybe some of the players forgot what Premier League football is all about. And Brentford just came out and just bullied us. Sade against Gray. Kate put it very well. That was literally a boy against a man, and he just bullied him.
All right, well, let's talk about a man against a man then. Van Hecke against Thiago.
What surprised me was Senesi and Van Hecke.
Yeah, they were shocking, mate. Van Hecke is 6'4", apparently. Right, Thiago's not as big as him. Bullied him.
Yeah, that's very worrying. Because I was expecting, and one of my taglines during pre-season was "Pre-season is not competitive," because the amount of people were going, "Oh, we're going to win," we're amazing. But I did kind of get sucked in by Senesi against Hoffenheim and the way that he was bossing the back, and we saw none of that against Brentford. We saw none of the leadership against Brentford that is desperately needed in this football club, mate. And I hope that these players, the senior players, are going to step up, like Robertson. Let's put Archie Gray to one side, whatever this captain thing is, right? I hope that the leaders, like Senesi, like Robertson, like Tonali, are going to start having a go at each other. That's what I want to see on Saturday. I want to see players having a go at each other because they're demanding more out of each other than what they're currently getting. And we didn't see that on Saturday.
Are you leaning towards the Howard Hotspur's narrative of these things take time, right? Relationships are not forged overnight. Probably the first time I spoke to you, mate, wasn't as easy as it is speaking to you now. Vice versa. You get comfortable, you get more experienced, everything works out in the end. If you're good enough, you'll, all that stuff. And if so, how long is a piece of string? How long are you willing to be patient with the results? If we lose against Newcastle, what happens then for the fan base?
Very possible, by the way.
Very possible.
I may have predicted a loss in our predictions league.
Have you done the predictions? Yeah,
I may have predicted a loss on Saturday. Because I like to win those things.
Yeah. You predicted you lost against Brentford or against Newcastle?
No. I was bonkers. I didn't.
I went with a 2-1 victory, not because I was trying to win. I genuinely thought that Tottenham would be able to win. I was. You know what? What dawned on me, mate, was when 5 minutes before the game started. I don't know if you were watching the pre-match show thing. I looked on to Bet365, and I was like, "Wait, what? Brentford at evens to win, and Tottenham are 5-2." And I was like, obviously the best value money in the trade. I'll put 40 quid on it, whatever I did, right? And looking back, the bookies don't often get it wrong, right? So they had Brentford as a home win all day long. They had a draw. I think the draw was like, I don't know, like 1.5 to 1 or something. And then we were like essentially 2.5 to 1. So the Tottenham away win, where the money goes, was always the least likely outcome. Yet in my mind, I thought we were going to smash it. I'll be surprised to look at what the price is for Newcastle versus Tottenham. I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham to lose wouldn't be a popular bet.
So my shtick, right? So the reason why I joined the protests, and met up with people, and the thing that I do regularly, that I like doing is looking at the squad. I really like analysing player qualities, both positive and negative, and seeing. And I spent so long on Sav's show, for example, speaking to Sav about the quality of the squad. And when I hear people talk about our current squad, and let's not name names, but there's various people I've spoken to, and they're like, "We're going to finish top 3. We're going to do this, that, and the other." And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, have you actually analysed the quality of our squad? My level of expectation is, I think if we finish 8th or 9th, that's great. And actually, I think, Sean, that we're going to have a pretty rocky few months to start with. I think it's going to be quite tough. And then what I'm hoping is that it's going to, De Zerbi is going to kick in. De Zerbi is going to get them playing. De Zerbi is going to get things linking up, and we're going to get players back. I think getting players back like Zabi and Odobert are absolutely critical. Getting depth. People neglect. It's so easy, Sean, to fall into the first 11 trap. First 11. Oh, look at how good our first 11 is. Forgetting that not only does depth support you if somebody gets injured, but actually it supports players throughout, even one game a week. It means that they can go for 60 minutes rather than 90, and going full throttle for 60 minutes, and then somebody else coming on and going full throttle for 30 or 40 minutes is way more beneficial to the team than having somebody going for 90 minutes and then having a week, a week rest. So we need to get these players back, and we need to get players in the squad, because I look at it as it currently stands, and we are woefully short. We are woefully. Even if we get Savio and Marmoush, we're woefully short.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen if the GAKPO story is true that he's going to go to City, or if not, he might not even go there. He might not leave at all. Is there going to be a meltdown in the fan base that we've been hijacked? Is it a hijack? I don't even know if it's a hijack. Is it?
I've seen a 300 message backwards and forwards going on with GAKPO, and it's all the same kind of stuff, right? He'll want to play. He's not going to go to Man City because he won't play.
Yeah,
he won't play first. That's rubbish. It's been completely debunked. It has been debunked. Players don't do that anymore. Players.
You think GAKPO will go to Man City? Because he might not wait. Like, if he doesn't want to leave Liverpool, then that's fine. If Liverpool don't want to sell him, that's fine. If he wants to leave Liverpool because he's not going to play in front of Barcola, then the argument would be he doesn't want to sit on the bench at Liverpool. Why would he sit on the bench at City?
I don't. Do we think that he wants to leave Liverpool? I don't think he wants to leave Liverpool.
No, okay, no. So that's a different argument. The argument is, would he choose City over Tottenham? If he has to leave, or if he wants to leave, would he choose to come to Tottenham and play, or go to City and compete with Doku, Semenyo, and Haaland?
Well, okay, so then it's motivation, and it's our assessment of motivation, because we don't We don't know these individuals. I don't think that GAKPO wants to leave Liverpool. I think Liverpool are looking to shift GAKPO on, and he's being told, yeah, well, he's being told, we might shift you on, we might not, and he's like, and he is where he is. But in my world, where that's my view, he doesn't want to leave Liverpool, then actually.
So you're more of the opinion that he just doesn't want to leave, or he won't leave Liverpool, basically.
Yeah, but if Liverpool go, look, you've got to leave, then you've got I'm not wanted, and then if City come
yeah.
Well,
okay, that's fine. I agree with you. So if he wants to leave because he doesn't want to sit on the bench at Liverpool, I would make the argument he would probably be better off to come to Tottenham than to City to sit, because he'll get more minutes. If Liverpool don't want to sell him at all, he'll stay. If he doesn't want to leave, if Liverpool do want to sell him, but he doesn't want to leave, then he's probably more likely to go to City than to Tottenham.
Yeah. And we don't know which of those scenarios it is. And the funny thing is, in the fan base, whichever scenario people believe generally is determined by their perception on the attractiveness of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. So I've seen so many people go, De Zerbi will pull him in, and what De Zerbi's a more attractive option than Man City. I don't think so. If we're going by attractiveness,
maybe City under Maresca doesn't have the same draw as City under Pep for sure. I don't know. Listen, let's assume that.
Is it just me, or is Maresca just turning into Pep more and more by the day?
He looks like him, but whether he's got the talent, I don't know. He didn't do very well yesterday. They got away with one, I think, against Bournemouth. But let me ask you this though: if not him, where would you go for the final piece of the jigsaw for the window?
I think it's too late. I think.
Would you take a Mateta?
I absolutely would take Mateta. I'd take Mateta. I don't know why we're not, going for Minter. If
he's injured, he's injured.
Well, there's rumours that Liverpool have been.
Yeah, they were looking at buying him injured, but I think he's out for a couple of months. Minter, he's got to have surgery or something. So,
I think we've made a mistake this summer, and I think we're still making a mistake, and that's the mistake that we're making is we're going high risk, high reward. Yeah. Savio is a high risk, high reward player. He's got a high ceiling, and we may get that ceiling or we may not. Yeah, and we're risking it to get it. And I'm very, very clear that in my world, I would have gone medium risk, medium reward this summer. I would have gone for a player like Sade and gone and got somebody who's going to get 10 to 15 GA.
You're taking Sade, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have gone and snatched him out of Brentford at the start of the transfer window straight away.
Good player for sure. I don't think he's going to excite anyone. This is my concern, though. I feel like this ownership seems to be pandering a little bit too much towards the whims of the fans. Like they're trying to prove a point to the fans, which is like too high on their priority list for me. Like the fans don't know what they want. The fans are never happy anyway. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they spend. It doesn't matter what goes on. If this season starts badly, right? If you lose against Brentford, something bad happens on Wednesday against Charlton, God forbid. And if you lose against Newcastle, and certainly if that happens, and then you also lose to Nottingham Forest, this fan base will turn on everyone because the fan base doesn't know what they want. They just know that they demand. They demand outcomes that they don't know how to achieve, and they're not patient for the intermittent period for the process. Right? They're not patient enough for the journey. They got their eyes on a destination that looks very far away from where we are. And if Tottenham do start very badly, and it started badly against Brentford, if something goes wrong against Charlton and then Newcastle and Everton and Forest. It doesn't matter how you could go and bring in Osimhen, but if we're 0 points from 4 games and out of the Carabao Cup, for example, Doesn't matter what we've spent. The fan base will be apoplectic again because there is absolutely no patience for the why. It's just the what that they care about.
Yeah, I mean, have we been sold? Have we been sold a project? Have we? Because everything that Vinay said last season all pointed towards huge levels of ambition, but none of it pointed to how we were going to get there. No, none of it was about.
I would love it if Vinay did what Arsenal did. Was it Arsenal? Who was it who did it? Where Vinay went out and had. It wasn't Vinay. I forget. Was it the Man United guy? I forget who it was. There was someone who was who went out and did a meet and greet at a fucking pub. It was in a pub, like an outdoor bar in a pub. I forget who it was. Someone in the chat. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. It was a big team, and there was a lot of hatred. And then one of the directors went, fuck it, I'm going to go down to the pub and I'm going to talk to these guys. And he had it's like a meet and greet, and the fans respected him. And there was no precursor. There was no pre-reading of questions. It wasn't like a planned Q&A. It was just someone in the chat will let me know who it was. I'm sure it was a big team. I'm sure it was United or someone. They did something. It's about a couple of years ago, 18 months ago. I would love it if Vinay could do that, but not like pre-planned Q&A. Just like if you're supposed to be the king of communication, just go out there and calm everybody down. Let everybody know a bit more frequently what the plan is. Stop throwing previous iterations under the bus. Stop all that bollocks. Stop trying to make out like it wasn't us, it was that guy when that guy was you lot. He was just a part of it. Just come out and talk and explain so that we can have some measurement, some sort of. Was it the Man United director, Sean? Was it that the director IIRC? Whoever it was, whoever the fuck it wasn't Ratcliffe. It certainly wasn't Ratcliffe. It was someone. But anyway, do you understand my point though? Right? It was. I would love it if there could just be like an impromptu Q&A where everyone could just ask questions. And obviously, you'd hope that the fans would respect it and not.
Yeah, that's the risk, isn't it? You're going to get the shouters, you're going to get the screamers.
Sure.
You're going to get, and there's plenty of us around, and that's why they're so. But obviously, the fab is just vanilla. It's just so bland. It's just so irrelevant, really, to most Spurs fans. Actual wants and emotions. But yeah, absolutely, that would be absolutely perfect to just hear somebody just say, "Look, our ambition is to win the league, but we know that it's going to take 3 or 4 years. We know that we're going to have to step. We know is that the Richard Arnold."
Richard Arnold, he was just having a drink. He didn't go to answer questions, but he did answer questions, right? He sat in front of the pub and he did answer questions.
And he couldn't walk away. That's what Viv did, right? That's what Viv Lewis did when a fan confronted her. Instead of actually sort of addressing him, and admittedly he was quite angry, but as we've all had to deal with angry people, right? I've had to deal with angry people at work, and you have to engage with them. You have to deal with it. And to just dismiss it is the wrong thing. You may be cocooned, but all you're doing is storing up more resentment towards yourself. So you really need to address it. And yes, absolutely, it would be fantastic if the fans got we want to be at the top of the Premier League. We know it's going to take 2 or 3 years. We know that we've got a long way to climb after being 17th twice. There absolutely have been mistakes made without throwing shade, and there might be some more mistakes made, but we are going to just be relentless in trying to improve this squad and in trying to improve this club. Those types of things. The problem is that what they don't want to do is say Richalison is shit.
I hear you, mate.
They'll never say that, and that's what fans really want to hear. Fans really want to hear.
Well, hopefully, we'll know that he's gone by the end of the window. Listen, Rain, mate, love you. Thanks for coming on, mate. I really appreciate you hanging in the background as well. I know you were playing the sort of wingman sort of role for a little while there. About to bring you in. Appreciate you coming on, mate. We've got a couple of more people to get to, and then we're going to round off. Rain, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll speak to you on the chat.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, mate. Take care, bud. Love you, man. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got 2 more guests to come on. We've got James Watts in the Chidley Chit Chat. Before we bring him in, just quickly get these super chats done. JB McCauley says, we will never see that starting midfield again. Richie just not on it. Gallagher, not a 10. We were out-muscled in defence. We need patience. He's on the patience train. I'm on the patience. I feel a little bit more patient after today's conversations, but I still think that there's unacceptable outcomes that we have seen not being prepared for the start of the season. For me, it's just unacceptable personally. Big up to JK who? JKU. Big up to you, mate. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's bring in James Watts, and then last up is Daniel after that. James, how are you doing, mate? You okay? You're on mute, mate. You're on mute, buddy. He's out of the mare. He's out of the mare. He's done. Is he out of here? What are we doing?
There you go.
I hear you, mate. I hear you are.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. I've just been on holiday, chilling in Spain. I went to Valencia. I love Spain and Germany and all that lot. Well, other things than football, like World War II and Spanish Civil War, my other subjects than football. So, but it's good to get back to football. Actually, I've been missing it really, but not the result on Saturday. But I watched my team Worthing play, which won 1-0 against Wilstone. Non-league football, pretty fun. Go and have a couple of beers, with me and my dad. You know what I mean? But Spurs was absolutely shocking, mate. I was fuming. Honestly, I'm really not happy. Yeah.
What would you like to talk about, mate? Are you more mad about? Do you want to talk transfers? Do you want to talk the game? What would you like to get off your chest?
Probably transfers. I feel like again with 2 players offshore. I know we've signed 7 footballers or 8, whatever. I feel like we need a midfielder and I feel like we need a striker. I like Mamouche, but I agree with your sense of thing. I think we need a big lump in there. Like, would you take Nick Baltimore? Would you like him? Would you take
Baltimore?
Yeah, Montearde. Would you take him?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I think he's class. I think he's massively misused.
Yeah,
I think he's waiting to explode. I think he's a really talented player. I just think he needs to be used better and have a bit more confidence, a bit more trust in him. However, at Tottenham, I don't know whether or not he'd suit the De Zerbi system because he's not particularly blessed with pace.
But you can play
he's a target man, so I'd be up for it. But yeah,
I think we need an attacking midfielder like Morgan Gibb White, like you said, with the pace. But the thing is, I've always said with Spurs, you need to do your scouting properly. This has always been a big thing for me, even under Levy. You need to go and scout players. Problem is we don't do that. Then again, the things I would like to see Spurs, I would like to see a 4-4-2. I don't know about you. If we get Nick Bolton, let's just say we get him in or get Mateta in, would you like to see Xavi on the left, Kudos, 2 up front, Tonali, Fernandes? Would you like to see a 4-4-2? Because I think that would work. Or 3 at the back. Or what would you kind of think about it? What would you like to see?
I'm not particularly that bothered by the formation. I think the formation is just something you see on paper. I feel like, if you look at if you think that Tottenham currently play a 4-2-3-1, when we have possession, we don't play a 4-2-3-1, right? It's more of a 2-4-3-1. Yeah. And when we don't have possession, we drop into a 5 anyway. So it's like the formation's a paper thing. It's like paper money. It's not the same thing as like real money, cash in hand. I don't know if it looks like a certain style, but if you watch the game against Brentford, Gallagher wasn't playing more advanced than the other 2. They were all chasing and scrambling. So I don't really care what the formation is. I care what it looks like on the field. And for me, if you're suggesting that by a 4-4-2 that the wingers drop a little bit deeper and get more involved in the midfield, I don't think you can do that with our wingers. I don't think you can. I don't think Savinho can get back and play any value. So I think you have to have him as a shoulder guy. So in terms of how that looks, it looks more like a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 or whatever. But so like the formation thing for me, I think is a bit of a misnomer. I don't think it really means anything because like when you have the ball, you're not playing a 4-2-3-1, and when you don't have it, you're not playing a back 4 anyway. So I think that whole thing's a little bit silly, to be honest.
I think obviously I'm really worrying about when he said we're not a team yet, which in partly I agree with because he's got to rebuild this squad. Richarlison's not good enough. Obviously, I know your man tells. I'm not a fan. I had some guy on the train for when I was going back from the airport, and he had a Spurs shirt on, and I was chatting to him, and he like loved Mathys Tel, and he was like, "You don't like Mathys Tel?" And I'm like, "Not really." But the thing is, he looked good pre-season, but it's just pre-season. Any player looks good. Tonali looked good. Obviously, he's going to become good, and I think he will. But the thing is he's got to rebuild that squad now, Jose. We've all got to be patient. But the concerning thing was the lack of fitness.
Yeah, but hang on a second, James. But like the point about pre-season, right, which winds me up, is that people take what they want from it. So
Yeah.
I've heard loads of people that are desperate to see players like Malachi Hardy get minutes because of the pre-season, but at the same time tell people, because they don't rate Mathys Tel, they say Mathys Tel did all right in a pre-season against Auckland and Sydney FC, and that's fine. If that's what you want to think, that's fine. It's a relevant point. But on the same breath, you can't then tell me that Malachi Hardy should be getting minutes in our team because of pre-season. Pre-season is a constant for everybody. So if you're going to tell me that Mathys Tel's impressive pre-season is irrelevant because it was against dog shit teams, then you can't at the same time be advocating to be playing, I'm not saying you are, but other people that are listening to this, you can't at the same time tell me that Malachi Hardy has proven that he's worthy of a chance because he's being compared to the same teams that Mathys Tel were playing against. So people were like, people take what they want from any situation. I genuinely feel like the Tottenham fan base right now are not actually, like, not everybody, of course, but certain vocal, loud people in the fan base, they are incapable of distancing themselves from whatever opinion they go into a scenario with. And so whatever happens, they're going to find a way to walk out of the scenario with the same opinion. And it winds me up.
But the thing is the pre-season should have been all about fitness. Against Brentford, they didn't look fit. This is what are you doing in pre-season to get these players fit? They just didn't look fit. Am I the only one who saw that? Did you see that? Because I didn't think they were fit at all.
1 second. There's a bomber. There's a bomber somewhere.
Oh my god! Let me see.
Hang about. What's the bomber? Understand that the green light for Omar Mamouche has now been given.
Okay. Well, we knew that.
That's not really a bomber, is it? It was always going to happen. That's not really a bomber. Thank you for the bomber, boys, but it's not really a bomber. It was always going to happen. Sorry, mate. What are you saying? That they don't look fit. They definitely don't look fit right now, do they? They look terrible.
What was he doing in pre-season to get these players fit? You know, you've got to get them fit. I'm sorry. You've got to be fit as a professional footballer. Some of it's on the players, though, because the thing is, as a professional footballer, I expect you to be fit. I expect you to be top of your game. You know what I mean? Tonali didn't go to the World Cup. Why is he not fit? What's he been doing?
That's the one. That's the one that stands out more than anything else. Everybody else, you can say, well, they were at the World Cup and they're late back, or they've been injured, or something else. But with Sandro Tonali, he's our £100 million player. He wasn't at the World Cup. He's been at the entire pre-season, and yet he's not fit. That to me stinks.
Yeah, but the thing is I think it's going to be really interesting in Newcastle. Are you going up? Are you going up to the ground or?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going. Yeah, I got my ticket. Quite expensive. I don't want us to lose. Go all of that way from Worthing to do it, but unfortunately I did. But the thing is, I would have, as much as I'm going to go to Savio now. I really like Savio. I know I've heard on previous streams you're not a fan. Okay, you know I would have done. I would have got.
I'm not a fan. I like Savio. I just don't think he's worth 100 million quid or 85 million quid. And I don't think he's proven himself to be proven. I think he's a talented player, but I don't think he's any better.
He did well with Girona. This is where I cut the line at you. Pep Guardiola didn't play him the right way. Pep Guardiola loves his wingers to go right at the touchline, right? Oh, I'm missing. Sorry, mate. I think he didn't use him in the right way, but when he was at Girona, Miguel Sanchez,
it was different league, different style.
Yeah,
but Brian Hill excelled at Girona. I'm not taking his form at Girona for as anything. That's for me. You can if you want to, but Brian Hill looked really good at Girona. He was at Tottenham for 3 years, didn't do a fucking thing. So it's a different league, right? So I'm not going to sit there and listen to that. I want to listen to what he did at Manchester City. He didn't do anything. A lot of huffing and puffing. and a lot of like dancing and pirouetting and people that are the eye test, people that say, I don't give a fuck about stats. I trust my eyes. Well, if your eyes are dazzled and wowed by people that pirouette around the fucking football pitch, then so be it. If that's what you fancy, at the end of the day, it all looks great until it doesn't get the ball doesn't get put in the back of the net. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm very happy he's here. I just don't think he solves anything that we haven't already got in Udogie or Mathys Tel technically. And I don't know, he might end up being a fantastic player. He fucking better for the price point. Otherwise, there's going to be problems. But I'm more concerned about the physicality, ineptitude that we have in our squad. And he doesn't solve for that. He doesn't solve for the work rate issue. He doesn't get back, and he can't fight for the ball. Like, there's loads of parts of his game that are shit. The parts of his game that are great are essentially satisfying people that want to see a bums out of seat player. But if it all comes to nothing, if it's all like being at the strip club and you've got the prettiest girl in the fucking world, like stretching herself all over you, but you can't fucking take her home because there's a no touch policy, that is the equivalent of having a Savinho that doesn't put the ball in the back of the net. It might look good, but if there's no fucking end game, what is the point? We all walk home with blue balls. That's the problem I'm saying with Savinho. He better make it at Tottenham.
Yeah, but the thing about, I'm going back to City now, is that he played in a system where Pep Guardiola used wingers that don't use them properly, right? And this is what I'm saying. But I know this. Maddison's are out. Okay, right.
Talking about these things. After a few of these, I get a little bit aggressive.
Well, I don't even. What are they, like beers and lager, or is it craft?
It's wine.
It's wine.
Yeah, it's tonic wine. Anyway, carry on. Get your point up.
The thing is, he was playing in a system where Pep Guardiola goes, "You got to go to that fucking." Oh, am I allowed to swear, or what? Or do you not want me to swear?
You can swear. Just don't say the C word.
Okay. Right.
What's your point? Say your point.
Yeah. Where he got to the point where, Pep Guardiola played wingers that just got to the wing, not go inside, and that's not his game. And this is what I keep saying of Savinho. If you play him inside and he can cut in and do all of this crap, this stuff, he's actually a really good player. He did that at Girona.
What's he a good player at? What is he a good player at?
Technical ability.
Okay, technical ability, so he can dribble around players, right? Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. But it's all for nothing if he doesn't put the ball into the back of the net or he doesn't give it to someone who does.
This is where he needs to work on the game. But the thing is,
you don't pay £85 million, James, for a geezer who might become that. Right? Remember, Mathys Tel, the geezer that... I'm getting wound up now, James. You're winding me up, mate. Just give me a second here, bro. You don't... Remember, you said you don't rate Mathys Tel, right? Were you part of the crew that were fucking fuming at Tottenham Hotspur for spending 40 million quid on Mathys Tel? Well, we've just spent double that, more than double that, on Savinho, who has scored less, assisted less, done fuck all apart from dance around the pitch fucking 25 times in the last 2 years. He might have been good in Spain. So was Brian Hill. So was Lo Celso. So was Vincent fucking whatever the fuck that other striker's name. We've signed so many players that have done well in Spain that can't do it here. Don't wind me up by telling me that he's worth £85 million. He hasn't proven it yet. He better fucking prove it. Or everybody that is going after Mathys Tel at half the price, you better be asking for double the output from fucking Savinho.
Yeah, but the thing is, Mathys Tel was shit in Germany. He couldn't even do it in the Bundesliga, right? Savinho's done it in another league. Yeah, he hasn't done it in the Premier League, and he's not worth 85 million. I agree. But the thing is, he's better than what we've got.
Is he? Based on what? Based on what?
Technical ability.
Don't say technical fucking ability again, James. You're winding me up, mate. Don't say it again. Give me some fucking specifics. What exactly is he better than anybody that we have at? He's not better at putting the ball in the back of the net. He isn't better at crossing. He isn't better at dribbling. He isn't better at successful crosses. He isn't better at key passes. He loses to Mathys Tel on all of those things. If you watch my content, I have proven it time and time again. And yet people like you hate on Mathys Tel for some fucking reason, who cost us 30 million quid, and yet you're worshipping the ground that this fucking bozo walks on. I don't even mind Savinho. I'm just saying, what is it that you love him about? Why do you love him?
Because I loved him at Girona. He's
not at Girona anymore.
Yes, I get that.
He's not playing against
Right.
Fucking Elche. He's playing against fucking Liverpool. It's a different game, bro.
Yeah, but Tel just naturally shit.
Oh, mate.
Okay, right. Should we just move the conversation on? Okay. This is getting a bit heated. I'm sorry, mate.
No, I'm only joking. I'm not really.
I thought you were genuinely angry at me. I'm sorry.
I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at the fucking repetitive conversation of people telling me that Savinho is just amazing and Tel's just shit. Why? Oh, because of I just think so. It fucking winds me up after a while. It winds me up.
All right. I'm sorry for winding you up.
It's all right. It's not your fault, mate. It's not. I
always have a good time with you. You know, like
I know, mate. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I thought you were being serious.
Winding me up though.
No.
All right, listen. We got what I've got like another 5 minutes with you, mate. So let's talk about who do you want instead of GAKPO?
Who do I want instead of GAKPO? Abdi from Betis.
Yeah, like that. But he's not a striker.
You mean striker?
I don't know. Do you think GAKPO is a left winger?
Yeah, I do. But the thing is, if you're going on striker, I've got the perfect one for you. Frankfurt, Bruckner. Really good player. I think he can do a job. 25. You can go and get him on the cheaper with Frankfurt. He would be my pick.
Another Frankfurt player.
Yeah. Play him in the double pivot or whatever double striker role. I don't know why I said double pivot, but probably Bruckner from Frankfurt.
How do you say that name? Bruckner.
Let me go and search it up.
Don't worry about it. If you haven't got his name, don't worry about it. It's fine. Right. Okay, mate. Listen. Let me ask you a question. Are you worried about the Newcastle game? What's your prediction for the Charlton game? And then we're going to move on to the next guest.
2-0 Spurs, Charlton.
Okay. Full team?
Yeah. You got to. In my opinion, you got to. Can I just say 1 point before we wrap up and stuff?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I feel like that should be an absolute priority this season to go for the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. You know, if we finish 10th and we get an FA Cup, I'll be quite happy because I'll be getting out of the league, not getting relegated, and also a cup. So, big up, Sean. Thanks for having me on, mate.
Appreciate you, James. Mate, I wasn't angry with you, mate.
Just one thing before you go, if you're like around the ground, I could buy you a beer or something. If you want to do that?
Yeah. Send me a message on Twitter or something. You don't got to buy me a beer, mate. Don't worry about that. We'll have a beer together. Eh? Send me a message on Twitter and we'll meet up on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
one thing before I go, sorry, this is really the literally last point. Is I'm a really big fan of yours, and I've always loved your content. You know,
Thank you,
as much as I disagree with you, I really enjoy it, though. And I agree with you a lot, but mostly disagree. But all right. Thank you, mate.
Appreciate it, James. Thanks for your support, mate. Take care, buddy. Thanks for your support, mate. Take care. All right, nice one. Big up to James. We got one last guest left of the evening. I wasn't getting wound up with James, but I felt like I was getting a little bit wound up. No, getting wound up. Daniel Larson, are you there? I can see you in the background, but your camera's not on. Is he there? He's there. There he is. I haven't seen this man for a while. Danny boy, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
Good. How are you, man?
I'm good, mate. Whereabouts are you? You Sweden?
Yeah. No, I'm Norwegian.
Are you in Norway? You're in Norway right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Nice, mate. Whereabouts?
Yeah, actually not far from Bodø, actually. 2 hours from Bodø.
My favourite place of memories they will remember. You know, that fucking Helga and her mates. How you doing, Danny boy? Good to see you, mate. It's long time, bud. Long time.
Yeah, long time. I'm glad to be back. Last season I was on the Irish Hotspur, of course. I mean, that's where I'm regular. But finally have time to be more. I want to be more involved this season, so I try to be on different channels this season.
Of course, mate. Of course. How's your patience going with Norwegians? They are very, very patient people. They just generally keep their shit together, unlike little old people. Big old me over here who gets himself wound up a little bit too much. Are you when you watched the game against Brentford? How did you feel?
Oh no, I'm not. I'm maybe one of those Norwegian that's not really cool because I completely lost my shit. To be honest, I thought that was one of the worst. Talk about especially debut performance from all our debut players. I think Tonali was going to be my player of the season, but I still think he's going to be great, but that was one of the worst debuts I've ever seen.
From who?
Didn't look up Tonali.
Oh, it was awful, mate. It's awful.
It
And you
was
know what
so
winds
bad.
me up, mate? You know what fucking winds me up? Is people that are defending Tonali's performance because he was like covering Berghvall.
Yeah.
Nah, mate.
It's mad.
Nah. Let's not paper over the cracks here. Let's not pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Tonali was just dog shit by himself. Berghvall was dog shit, but Tonali was dog shit. No.
Yeah, 100%. You gotta take your own action. I mean, just because he has to. I mean, what is that saying anyway? Like you cover up from plays? No, you don't. You still your own play. You can still pass the ball. You know, you can still. I mean, you just passed the ball to the Brentford players. You didn't. Did he create? Did he make a successful pass? I don't. I generally don't remember. It's crazy. So, and especially a player like his experience. Jesus. But still,
Let me ask you this.
it's one game.
As a fellow Scandinavian, Lucas Berghvall, would you sell him? I know he's not from
Sell him.
You sell him, would you? Okay.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I mean, we were offered, was it 50, 60 million for him?
Yeah.
How you didn't, take it and run, whatever. I mean, run to fucking Australia if you could. Take a boat and they just take everything and just disappear. It's crazy. I mean, we undersell players.
Don't
like
we?
Spence and all that so many times. And then you get that kind of offer for a player that does nothing. He runs around like a headless chicken. And then, we're not. No, don't take that just because he's young. It's nothing to do with young. I mean, you clearly, if you see the talent in the player, you can see it already. And I can't see it.
Yeah. Are you concerned, mate, about the fan base? Because I'm obviously, I'm liable to lose my mind and stuff, but part of it is just emotional stuff in the short term. Also, part of it is like playing the game a little bit for the kind of like the content thing. You have to sort of turn it on a little bit at times. But I do genuinely concern myself with the idea that the other side of the oche of impatience is patience. But the patient argument, I don't know if the average fan is going to remember that. Like, I can understand it. Right. So I heard Howard's perspective earlier on. I don't know if you heard that. He was just like, it's going to take time, but like on that basis, things take time to gel. Relationships don't forge overnight. Of course, all that stuff's true. But that's where his mindset is at, and it's a fine mindset to have. But accordingly, his expectations for the season are, mid-table. He's like, I'm okay if we struggle until Christmas because I think we're going to eventually finish strong. So we'll be 10th, 9th, 8th, somewhere like that. Do you think the fan base will wait?
Well, Spurs fan probably the most impatient fan base in the world almost, and of course maybe it's not a wrong. I mean, I think as all the seasons, it's nothing wrong in that. I think we finished 17th twice in a row. I mean, you're allowed to be impatient, but if you can't give a manager like the Serbi time, and if the fans always gonna almost go against him, quickly, I feel like it's crazy. I mean, you have to give a manager like this time and all of that, because of course he's a great manager, but I mean he's made mistakes. I mean, I thought he made mistakes today, Saturday, of course. But of course, you can see the Spurs fan. I can already see forks and all that after him, sadly. But I hope we can give because you gotta give once you gotta give now. You gotta give a manager time and not blame the manager now, because I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the sort of the height thing? Are you concerned like I am about the squad? Like the physicality. I think this is going to rear its ugly head in many games this season. I think that the league has pivoted towards bigger, stronger, faster, and De Zerbi's come in and has pivoted towards technicality, which is fine, but I think maybe in a year or two time, when the pendulum swings back, we'll be well placed for it. But in the meantime, I'm not sure we've done enough in the world of bigger and stronger, which is why I'm like really upset that maybe GAKPO isn't going to be available. I really think that Tottenham need to move towards, if there's a chance to bring in a couple of people that are bigger. I was never on board getting rid of Polinia. I think that selling Polinia was a massive mistake. Even now, even though we've got Tonali and we've got Fernandes, I still think he would have been a good asset in there. What's your take on the whole bigger, stronger, faster thing?
Yeah, I completely agree with that, because you can see, I mean, Brentford, you can see that they have, you know, physicality, and they completely bullied us all over the park. And when a team like that can do that, I think we need to have more physicality. I agree with Polinia. I wanted to keep him. He was my favorite player last season. He saved us completely as well, and just more in midfield and so. And also that's why I wouldn't mind Mateta as a striker. I think he could bully, you know, defenders, and that's, you know,
or Igor
something.
Thiago for me. Like
Yeah.
Mateta's getting on. He's injury prone. I don't think that. But like you go, if Igor Thiago is going to cost you 70 million, I'd rather go and do that. You know, you've got Marmoush on a loan, so you haven't got to pay 50 million quid from up front. Go and get me Igor Thiago. You need something physical, or Brian Brobby. We need something more in the physical bracket than we have. And I'm not going to feel okay with this window if we end it with just better technicality. You know, I know the last guy was on. People in the chat saying I was harsh to him. It was more of just a reaction to the wind up thing. It was more fun, but it wasn't aimed at him. But like the idea that he thinks that all these players are more technical. Like technicality is fine, but like you need physicality, mate. And I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking, where is the physicality? Van Hecke is a big lump, but he doesn't like physicality. Archie Gray at right back or Pedro Porro, there's no physicality there, right? Robertson might be more physical. Udogie, maybe when he's fit. I'm just Tonali didn't show any physicality. Fernandes, I don't know, but I don't think so. Like, I think Tottenham are missing a massive amount of physicality, and I've got a really bad feeling that we've gone down a different path around technicality, and I think it's gonna be proving costly by the end of the season.
Yeah, I agree. You have to have the balance as well, definitely. And with that Thiago as well, I think you can see. I mean, he didn't score Saturday, but my God, he bullied Van Hecke completely.
Yeah,
completely bullied him. And I thought he was like one of those
6'4", right?
Yeah, but yeah, and because I thought Thiago was one of those one season wonders, but he's proven me wrong. I think he's a great player now. Yeah, so I was wrong about that. I'm wrong about him.
What do you think about Charlton game, mate? Are you thinking go straight full team?
I think you have to. I think we can't afford to play around and go out now. If you go out that early in the cup competition, it's like you already almost quarter of the season is finished almost. And because you got the Premier League, of course, we could finish in top half. But main, you want to win one of the cups, so you start pissing around there. It's just unnecessary. Just go out. Just play. I mean, it's nothing to do with fitness either. Just go out. People need to gain the fitness more than save the fitness. So just play a full team.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Newcastle United. Are you concerned? Do you think we've got any chance in the Newcastle game?
Well, it's definitely a chance, but they definitely surprised me against Liverpool. I think that they deserve to actually win that game. So, yeah, that's good. I mean, it's at their St James's Park, is it, or is it at home?
It's at Tottenham, but like I don't know if being at home is a benefit right now. We haven't.
No, yeah, that's true.
5 games there in the last 3 years or some bollocks. So like, I'm not sure if being at home is the advantage that people say it is.
Yeah, well, it's definitely more difficult game than I thought before the season started now because of what happened to them. So I'm not going to say we're going to easily win that. Definitely not. So it's going to be a battle again. So we have to be prepared.
Yeah. All right, mate. Listen, last question for you, and we're going to round off, mate. Appreciate you coming on, Daniel, as always. What is the your thought process on. I don't know if you've heard this tonight, but Daniel Levy is trying to sell his stake. Have you heard this rumor? And then Matt Law from the Times said that that he's trying to sell it, and that whoever it is, the group. Matt Law said the group is trying to negotiate a loan for £750 million, of which would come with a 10% interest to pay him out, right? And I don't know whether that's referring to ENIC that are going to do it and that are going to borrow £750 million at 10%, so £75 million a year interest to buy out Daniel Levy's stake, or whether that's relating to Brooklyn Eric and Wing Fi NG and all that stuff. But either way, Daniel Levy wants out. And whoever it is that's going to buy, especially if it's ENIC, if they take that loan out and put it against the club, that's £75 million a year that could be used to be spending on players that is now going to be spent on interest to buy Daniel Levy out of the football club. What do you think about that?
Well, that's above my brain capacity. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't.
No, fair enough, mate. Fair enough.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. But let me ask this, mate. Simple question. Then. So to finish off there, buddy, where are we finishing this year, and how are we going to get there? Are you patient? Do you think we're going to have a slow start, a better finish? Do you think we're going to finish bottom half, top half, mid table? Where do you think we're going to be?
Well, I said before I was actually fifth, I thought, but now I'm more like 6th to 7th, actually. Still,
yeah. All right, mate.
Yeah.
Mr. Mate, come on to the next show, yeah.
Yeah, if I can, I definitely will. Yeah, and hopefully be a little better. Still rusty.
I appreciate you, mate. Thanks for coming on, buddy. I'm gonna round the show off in a second. Thanks for coming on, mate. I'll speak to you soon. Okay.
Yeah, if I can also, if I let my number on here and then join the WhatsApp group. If that's
of course, mate. Yeah, stick the WhatsApp, stick the number in there. All right, buddy.
Okay, thanks. Take care, man.
See you, mate. Take
Bye-bye.
care. All right, guys. Listen, massive thank you to everyone that's come on today. People in the chat saying I need to apologise to the previous to James. It wasn't meant like that. I was just doing the old wind me up thing. People winding me up about Mathys Tel. These fucking takes. Then why is he better? He's technical. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I'll be saying it to everybody else. I know James. I've known James for ages. He's a good lad. He didn't take it personally, I'm sure. Guys, we're going to leave it there. Appreciate everyone for joining us tonight. Go and enjoy the last half an hour of the Chelsea game. What is the current score in the Chelsea game? What is the current score though? It is 3-2 to Chelsea. What a game! What a game! Go and enjoy it, and I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate everyone's time and attention tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Don't forget to also go over to the Spurs Hub. Please go over to the Spurs Hub, right? The one thing I'd ask of you, please go over to the Spurs Hub, and we will see you over there. There's so many new features coming all the time. I'm working every day and night on it. Please go over there and sign up. It's free to do. I'll see you later on, guys. See you tomorrow. Take care. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, bye-bye.